Is it over?
At long last. No king.
No! Oh, God, I'm depressed again.
Oh.
God
So
dang.
did you guys see that all smoothly? It was a little bit stuttering on my end.
It was fine.
no, it's
It was
fine.
beautiful
That's
and
fine.
sad, and I'm depressed again. Thank you for that. Oh, my God.
The stream's it's like not even like 10 seconds in, the stream's already going off the rails.
My first appearance, and I'm miserably sad. Oh,
Oh,
God.
sorry. So, yes. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the Friday night feature. The once a month we're talking about movies. All the movies that I wasn't allowed to as a kid, but now I can. We got Jason Ingerman chat. How you doing, buddy? We are joined by some very special guests. First off, we have the frequent guest, Melee K.
Hi.
Hey.
And his first time on the Frenzy, her better half, we have Melee James.
So you said you can't watch these movies when you're a kid. You were a child in 2016? What are you, like, 10?
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no!
Like, I feel old now. Like, what the hell? Is it legal for me to be here? Well, thank you.
That's
Thank
how
you,
we
little
became
boy.
dots on the map.
I'm a 38-year-old minor.
God.
It's current year.
Look what I can do.
Oh, this could only happen in modern America. Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk about Warcraft. I'm a lifelong Warcraft fan. I have Warcraft 2 running in the background. Legit one of the first games I ever played when I was a kid. And yeah, it's just I've been following this franchise, and now I absolutely hate Blizzard with every fiber of my being. But I used to love them. Yeah, used to be a huge fan. I'm hyped.
Hyped to hate. All right, and then
I'm hyped to be bitter. Yeah.
And then next we have the man who used to work for one of the Vanilla WoW developers, Chris Fisk.
Oh. Honey, I'm gonna say oh.
Chris, would you like to explain that to the confused, the people who don't know?
Oh yeah, I worked for Grums. I worked for Kern. Who, if you talk to him, he pretty much single-handedly produced and directed and everything World of Warcraft. So,
nice.
Yeah. Chris worked on the very expensive bus game.
Firefall.
Oh, Firefall. Yeah, I heard all about it. I never got to play it. Was it a shooter? I'm trying to remember. It was like a.
Have you played Overwatch?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, you played Firefall.
Oh, really? Okay.
Wait, what? Really?
I didn't think they were that similar. I thought it was. What's that other? It was like another game that was like kind of an open world FPS game, and you could go really fast.
PlanetSide?
Maybe. Yeah, it was almost like. Sorry.
Tribes.
That's thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that
back
was
in the
embarrassing.
90s. That's all.
Yeah, one of my leads worked on Tribes. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the comparison I always heard to Firefall.
All right, last and certainly not least, the mistress of ships herself, we have Bunny Girl Nyx.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello there. How's it going?
Jenna Kenobi. Sorry, I that's like that's reflex.
I understand completely.
All right, but before we start Warcrafting, let's get into some headlines, shall we?
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Alright, so this is Headline Hysteria. We talk about all the news that's important, just not enough for a full one. First up, we have multiverses being not quite up to snuff. So, James, you want to take the lead on this one?
Yeah, I don't know a lot about it, but pretty much Multiverses was a Warner Brothers DC Smash competitor because that was a good idea. And I heard like some people liked it, and then they would mess with it, and they would make all these controversial decisions, and it kind of went out very sadly. One thing I remember from it was everyone thought it was hilarious that Velma's alt would call the police on you, and then all these people on Twitter were like, "You can't do that. They can't side with the police," and so they changed it, and it was like, "All right, I'm out." But as far as I know, Multiverses, it had multiple seasons. It's a free-to-play game, and it's been out only like a year officially, and they're like, okay, we're done, goodbye, no refunds. And it's like, well, free to play implies that you were selling stuff, and I'm pretty sure it was one of those, it was almost like a League of Legends style where you have select characters that are locked and then you have to pay for the rest of them, which is rough in current year to do that setup. So I guess, okay, great, now you can't play the game at all anymore. I mean, I think it's going to work offline, but the whole point of this game is to be a fighting game. It's a Smash competitors, and it was so now it's just done. No refunds. Stop giving Warner Brothers your money, for the love of God.
That's why games are such a scam.
I mean, what is Warner Brothers if not copying 5-year-old ideas and pretending that it's still the greatest thing ever?
Well, can I also just say that I think it's really hilarious. A lot of people were like, they can't side with the police. Dude, it's Velma. Mystery Inc. always called the cops at the end of the mystery.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
always.
This is just the modern Warner Brothers mindset, and they really have to shift gears, in my opinion, is that they're very much on that political side of things, and they're really like kind of bending the knee to all the people that they perceive as their audience, but those people don't actually spend money. They just, want to yell about stuff on the internet, and it's been biting them in the ass. And talking about Velma specifically, if you watched like the last Scooby-Doo movie, Scoob, it was one of the worst movies I ever saw. Velma literally dresses up as Ruth Bader Ginsburg, like as a tribute, like and I said to Kay when we were watching it, I'm like, because they're going out for Halloween and she's dressed as an old judge, and I'm like, they're making her Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and it's not enough to make it subtle. She Shaggy literally goes, "Doinks, who are you supposed to be?" And she's like, "Yeah, Ruth Bader Ginsburg," and it's like they had to say it. They had to say it. So they're trying to politicize Scooby-Doo is just insane.
Even when WB accidentally falls into a hit. Like Hogwarts Legacy is a legit W. It's a best-selling game, but 2020 is like they legit had a winner on their hands, and now they're already ruining it. Like the next game, like, dude, we're gonna do live service. The next Harry Potter game, we're gonna do everything. Like we did everything right with Hogwarts Legacy. We're just about. We're not gonna learn any lessons from our win.
This is deliberate sabotage, guys. Like all of Western media is being destroyed, and there comes a threshold when it gets exceeded where you can't blame incompetence. Like, how there's that old saying, don't attribute to malice which can be explained through incompetence or whatever. Well, we've reached that point where it's so absurd now that it's like, guys, you're deliberately doing this. You are destroying these companies. Like BioWare just laid off almost 200 employees. They're going to be shutting their doors in the next couple of weeks. Ubisoft is going to be bought out and strip mined by like Tencent and a couple other Chinese communist companies. And EA's hurting pretty bad in general. Activision Blizzard's circling the drain. Like, Microsoft, they have an 80% loss in player engagement.
And don't forget, Disney wants to get into games, so they're going to be looking to buy a studio here soon. So if EA goes on the market or Ubisoft, they are going to want they're going to want to buy EA or maybe.
Oh no, dude!
Ubisoft.
You'll see a bunch of Chinese companies buying them up. If you haven't noticed, Black Myth Wukong and whatever the hell else, like the NetEase there with Marvel Rivals. These are all CCP companies popping up, going, "We're buying this stuff."
Yeah, I think Ubisoft is probably going to end up with Tencent, but EA, I don't know. I think Disney might try to acquire EA.
Disney acquiring EA? Sorry, that just seems insane to me to think about.
Look,
the thing is, they would.
The only thing I can say would be good about EA getting bought up is if they finally put an end to all of EA's shitty business practices.
That's why people would want to buy them.
So the only reason I don't think Disney would buy EA is because Disney pretty much tested the waters, so to speak, with EA. Because as soon as they got the Star Wars license, they were like, "We don't know what video game is. Let's shut down LucasArts. That's smart, and let's just give it to EA." And so they gave it to EA, and every game they did, with the exception of the Jedi Survivor Series, which I don't even like, but it is a success. But every single game they did was a complete failure. Battlefront 2 is still the EA Battlefront 2. Is still like the most downvoted like Reddit post in history. And it got to the point, like, again, Disney didn't want to deal with video games. They just wanted
James,
to say,
where's your sense of pride and accomplishment?
Well, dude, that's because that Battlefront game was a business model. It wasn't a game.
Yes. Yeah, and it's just insane. I could talk about that game for hours. And so the reason that Disney, went to Ubisoft for Star Wars Outlaws and they went to other studios is because they're like, we can't trust EA. So they would have to be really dumb. I'm not saying it's impossible because all these companies are stupid. I like what you were saying, Chris. For me, it's like whether it's evil or stupidity, the results are the same. I think they're just stupid evil people.
I think Disney's on the dumb side. Because Bob Iger's like, we need to get into the video games. So was the first thing they did. They invested $1 billion into Epic. Like, that was literally, like, we need to get into the video games.
And look who owns a good percentage of Epic, okay? Tencent. Mm-hmm. Like, we are watching basically the wholesale demolition of Western entertainment media, and it's being replaced by Chi-Com stuff. And I know that sounds super paranoid and conspiracy theory, but just watch, look at these things are like so out in the open now. You're like, oh my God, Overwatch 2 was completely like gutted. They stole Overwatch 1 from the customers. There's a whole lot of bad will and churn. This game is dying. Oh, look, Marvel Rivals. You know what I mean?
Well, you're not wrong or anything. Like, look, I think they're taking advantage of an opportunity. The West has taken advantage of their own position for so long and been lazy, and they felt secure in their position. So they just started giving us slop, inserting all their politics into games, making it so that we didn't want to play them anymore. Now the quality is dwindling, and other countries are seeing opportunities to swing in and make money. And that's really what's happening. So I don't think you're on a conspiracy theory or anything like that. I think that's just, it's happening in front of our eyes. But they're smart with Marvel Rivals. You know what? When I first saw it come out, I saw the trailer, and I was saying, I'm like, oh, hero shooters, they're dead. No one cares about them anymore. Marvel superheroes, no one cares either. We all have fatigue. When I first saw it, I'm like, there's no way this is going to succeed. And then it came out. People started loving it. James plays it quite a bit. He forces me to do dailies with him.
I really do.
I'm like, what?
I really love this
109 hours, baby.
Yeah, I deal with a lot of Marvel slop for this man. So I'm just
James,
saying.
I don't know what you're packing, but it is quite effective, I must say.
Just Moon Knight's ult. That's about it. The Moon haunts her, really.
I'm just saying, the game is doing much better, and it's reviving excitement for people. And I think China saw an opportunity. And if Chi-Coms take over, we let it happen, in my opinion. So
I firmly believe that in NetEase they have like a framed photo, and their whole game design is don't do what Blizzard does, because they literally everything in Marvel Rivals is just Overwatch 1 but with sexy characters. They didn't censor Tracer's butt and didn't make Soldier 76 gay. Done.
No, I think where the conspiracy though is so. When I studied international business, there's this thing I learned in when you deal with East Asian, especially Chinese business, guangqi, which basically translates to corporate espionage. They use a lot of flowery language, and they're like, oh, it's so that we can do business with Western companies, and we can trust them, and we can form relationships and all this stuff. But the reality is, there are no private businesses in China. Everything is owned by the Chinese Communist Party. Everything. Tencent, NetEase, all of these companies. They are all intermediaries that are owned by the CCP. Okay? Blizzard got burned by them when they went into China, and they're like, hey, the Nine or NetEase or whoever the hell they hired to be their government-appointed Chi-Com proxy or whatever, set up our net cafes or whatever with World of Warcraft. Sure, we'll make all these huge sweeping changes to our game to be more culturally sensitive to you. No exposed bones. We can't have the Pandaren as a race and all this crap. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, all of their shit got stolen. Like all of it. NetEase just wholesale just grabbed it, just stole it. And Blizzard's like, what the hell are you doing? Where's our shit? And they're like, sorry, you didn't bribe the right government official. Oh, by the way, can we show you our new theme park, Joy Fun World or whatever? And it's like literally like you walk through freaking Stormwind Castle and you can be on the Hydralisk ride or whatever. And then
wait, I'm booking my ticket to Shanghai.
Yeah, well, they do these things where they refer to Western companies or kind of like target companies as sparring partners, and I forgot the Mandarin term for it, but basically what they'll do is they will use guangqi and like ingratiate their employees and get hey, have some H-1Bs, here's a bunch of Chinese engineers, here's a bunch of artists or whatever, and they get these like strong business relationships, and then when they learn everything, and they've been doing this for over a decade, once they learn what they can from these companies, they go, oh, okay, see you guys. And they pull out and then they start their own, Chi-Com companies. And then they're like, oh crap, how do we get rid of our competition? Oh, I know. Let's throw in a bunch of woke shit. Let's throw in stuff that like is so like they get these like blue hairs or whatever, the I'm offended people, and they like through their shareholders and influence at the higher ups are like, yeah, hire these people. Get this chick in HR, the one with the nose rings and the mohawk and the side
Let's
shave.
totally hire Sam Maggs to write the Star Wars Knights of the Republic game. Let's totally have the woman who said, I got R-worded in GT Online. Let's totally hand her the keys to one of the most beloved Star Wars game ever. That's totally not going to ruin the game.
So the West implodes, the competition implodes, and now all of a sudden you've got these savior companies that are popping up like mushrooms after a rainy day. And it's like, guys, like we know what the problem is. Let's put the fire out. Like, dude, 30,000 people have lost their jobs since January of 2023. That's like that's a small country. Like,
Chris,
the funny thing
problem,
is,
though.
sorry, go on, Phoenix. I was gonna make a joke. Go ahead.
You can ruin the thing afterwards.
Okay.
But like, we understand what you're saying. We get it, and I think I speak for both you people. And feel free to say I'm wrong. You do often, but like,
it happened
James.
like this week. It's like, no, I don't agree with you. It happened today, this morning. So
it did, and I'm like, okay.
It's okay.
Hey, like
Fair
to
play.
fight people.
I'm just
And yet
honest.
people
I'm
hate
sorry.
me.
I'm
I don't
just
get it.
honest.
Why do everyone goes after me, but she's the fight?
Hey, I
James
like
is
both
nice
of you.
one.
Okay, I think both of you are really cool people. All right, I think I like both of you. How
You're
about
cool too. You're a cool phoenix. But aren't you like a phoenix flame? So you're supposed to be like burning. So saying it's cool.
that?
Is
I'm
that
a
an insult
Phoenix
now?
Press.
As long as you don't faint in the air constantly like Jean Grey.
I always see you saying on Twitter, "My Phoenix Fire" or something. That's why I said that.
Oh, yeah, that's my cringy little phrase. People, whenever someone blocks me, I say, I guess they couldn't handle my Phoenix Fire.
Is that like your
Oh,
alt in
no.
Marvel Rivals? My Phoenix Fire.
Don't go fuck off. All right. What are we looking at here?
I just wanted to point out that Chris is totally right, and they actually put the Chinese Chi-Com spy in the actual movie we're going to be talking about today. There he is. You can see him.
Chris.
One
Is
of
that
these
a
things
night
is not
elf
like
or a
the
high
other.
elf? Is that a night elf or a high elf? They look like high elves.
look like blood elves.
I thought they were blood elves.
Yeah,
Well, blood
we're
elves
gonna talk
aren't
about
till
it.
after the scourge, so I'm thinking they're
High elves don't have glowing eyes.
There's blood
Because
elves
the-
in the movie.
So, okay, do you want the autism now? Give
Well,
it to me.
I'm just saying
Give
what
me
I saw. I'm
autism!
not a Warcraft
Tell me
fan.
autism.
I'm
So
just
the
saying
high
what I
elves-
saw.
They're
the high elves
Chinese
can't-
high elves, but
They completely broke the canon then, because
But
the
at
glowing
one
eyes-
point, you see
that-
blood
that-
They
coming
had
out.
blood on their teeth, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
they-
don't tell me that's
In
not
the
blood
movie, they have bloody teeth to imply they're blood elves, just so people go, "Oh, it's a heckin' blood elf-erino," even though they're not supposed to exist in the lore
Yeah.
yet. Yeah.
Not yet.
Not
no.
for another, like 40 years.
Well,
I don't care about
dude,
that lore inconsistency. For me, it's the whole Chinese thing that I thought was funny because just a Chinese elf right in your fucking face is great.
Yeah, the reason I consider them high elves is because the night elves have like the bluish skin,
Yeah.
and the high elves they're Caucasian.
No, so the elves that have the glowing eyes are the result of the sun and the moon wells.
Yeah.
And or the corrupted, in the case of the blood elves, the corrupted sun well. You know, the green or whatever, the fell energy is going through them. The normal high elves do not have glowing eyes. Like, I mean, this goes all the way back to Warcraft 2.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Oh,
you're 100%
God.
right. I sent my joke too early because I just wanted to say that the Chinese spy was in the
Gotta keep
movie,
it
and there he
honest.
is.
And you know what? Let's just get on with it. Let's just get on with. So Warcraft. We're talking about Warcraft here.
Autism.
How dilated their pupils are.
Wow,
Oh,
man.
Well, I was
So,
gonna
yeah.
make the joke, but someone didn't. Damn it.
They are just
Oh.
drug addicts. In the last Warcraft expansion I played, I
Yep.
got bored because I'm like, I just am like peddling drugs to these freaking weird elves. That was in Legion, and I'm like, I just don't care anymore.
Oh, you
I
mean
like-
the last good expansion?
Yeah, well, Danuser
I
came
know.
in and ruined everything.
It was at Endgame and Legion. It was just like I just have to keep getting drugs for these like anorexic.
Oh, the night board campaign.
Yeah, that old thing. I was like, I'm done. I only got this because Illidan was back. Now I just don't care anymore.
You were not prepared.
I was not
Yeah.
prepared
Drug Dealer
to be a
Simulator
drug dealer.
Fantasy Edition.
Yeah, it's
All
a
right.
lot. It's a lot more work to be a drug dealer than they make you think, really, and you don't get a big return.
All right, so we're talking about the Warcraft movie in 2016, and to me, there's kind of two ways that you can look at this movie. People who have played World of Warcraft and know the lore view this movie one way, and people who have no idea of World of Warcraft view it as something different. And I think there's two lenses to look at this movie. Me and James are Warcraft fans. James more so than me, but like we know what we're looking at. We see something, we know what we're looking at. Like to me, there's this one scene where Grona's like, "Oh, I want that," and you see a quick thing. It's Frostmourne. Frostmourne's just laying there, and it's like a quick shot. People who have no idea, like, oh, it's just a weird sword. Be like, wait, that's Frostmourne shaped, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
How was that in like Frostmourne? Wasn't Frostmourne somewhere else? Like
I don't know. It hungers. It gets around.
that.
It wasn't actually. Do you have the shot? Because I don't remember it actually being Frostmourne. I thought she just points to a generic sword that's like, I want the big stick. I didn't notice that it was actually Frostmourne.
I did make a clip. I did make a clip of it. I was gonna have that be the intro, and then I realized, oh, it's actually this clip is actually kind of boring. I don't want that to be my intro.
Dude, this
All right,
movie, this shows you how out of touch Hollywood is with movie making.
Well, here's the weird thing. All right.
That did not look like a safer YouTube
Yeah,
clip.
that was
No, they are so horny. Oh, that is Frostmourne. Hold up. That's very Frostmourne-y. I mean, you
Or
can
it
get
could
away
be a
with
Death
it and
Knight
say,
sword.
I don't exactly. It's a
Look! It is
No, it
Frostmourne.
is.
It is legit Frostmourne. Frostmourne is just sitting there in the Stormwind Armory, just chilling, be like, "Hey guys."
They probably
What's up?
put that in for the nerds. I've seen this movie like 4 times and I never noticed that was Frostmourne.
That is legit Frostmourne. Like, look,
Yeah,
it
it
has.
is. It's got the little horse.
Well, it could be a Death
thing.
Knight sword.
Yeah, but they don't even exist yet. But neither do Blood Elves, and they're like, yeah, fuck it, throw it in. But yeah, that is crazy. There is a lot of things, and I watched this movie again in preparation for this stream with Kay. This is maybe my fourth time watching it. First time watching it not sober, and I was just like, I was marking out like crazy. Chris, clearly you know your Warcraft lore maybe better than I do. Nix,
Maybe.
I don't know if you're a fan or not of Warcraft or ever played it.
I played it once briefly with my older brother. He was getting into it kind of, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we should totally do it." And we played like the free.
Wait.
trial.
You and your Nix. Reword, please.
Why, this ain't an Andy and Lele stream. I was the innocent one. You're the one making it weird, Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, no, my older brother was like, "Oh, we should totally play this game. Oh, it's super popular. Oh, I want to get into it so bad, blah, 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 blah." And I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "I am not enjoying this. Like, I'm a big high fantasy person, and I figured, yeah, I'd like this, but no, it's not for me."
Dude, what they should have done was all of the Blur cinematics or the Blur style cinematics that the Blizzard cinematics team has put out, just put that out in a feature-length film.
Yeah,
because the live-action shots look like ass.
A lot of people said that. Kay said that as well. I can say it. I actually loved this movie. I thought it was great. There is some lore. Yeah, there's some lore inconsistencies, and some of the acting, especially on my fourth watch, I thought was a little bit mediocre and rough. But I did appreciate them getting kind of more unknown actors, and so that it's like I could see the characters, because I hate
a lot of TV actors. They got a lot of TV actors for this one.
Yeah, but I hate the thing when it's like an established character, and all these characters were established. They just weren't the famous characters. I like the saying that these are the characters that you care about parents. So it's just like you're learning about the lineage.
Like, there's literally a scene where they're exiting, and they're like, "You take care of them, Varian." Like they literally go all the way and say, "Hey, that's Varian, literally King of Stormwind, like the guy that you care about."
Well, the problem. Oh, sorry, I don't.
No, go on. I'm just spurred with this stuff.
Well,
go on, Chris, please.
So my thing was, like, Warcraft is a larger than life cartoon. Like, you know, when Metzen started doing his illustrations and stuff, the proportions there that like Glenn Rain and then eventually Samwise and all of them, when they were doing the quote unquote Blizzard proportions, you know, the hands are bigger than your torso, basically. You've got very like WWE wrestler guys, these larger than life monsters of people. Okay.
Like, look at that. Look at that.
See, and the CGI parts where they showed, you know, all of the orc stuff, I enjoyed it, even though it was kind of not sort of, you know, kind of broke a bunch of canon. But when you got like, what is it, Hunnen here, the freaking dude from Vikings, and he's got this accent, and then you've got like
I can't. I'm so glad I landed on an actual picture of him when you're doing.
Yeah, Lothar there. It's funny because I think some of the actors don't work, and I can see people hating Lothar. I liked him. I thought he was good.
I think Lothar was probably the best of the human characters. Medivh was like Medivh. His acting is like he had Valium the entire time.
The thing about Medivh though is I think that looks like a younger Medivh because it's like they got Ben Foster to play Medivh, and I'm like
the actor himself. The actor himself he played it so wrong.
The thing is, I thought he visually looked like him because Medivh is really important for Warcraft 3, and that's supposed to be like what 30, 40 years past this. So it's like, okay, you get a guy that looks like Medivh, but then really when he's matters, he's gonna be like taking back pain medication. So I think oh god, what a horrible freeze frame. But I thought he looked like Medivh as a baby. Same with Khadgar. I'm like, okay, well that doesn't look like Khadgar.
Well, the thing about Khadgar is Khadgar is the only character in this movie that people from the games would recognize, because Khadgar is the only character that's in the game, especially during, because this is like 2016 was released. We were knee deep in Legion. We were knee deep in Legion because like WoD and Legion were Khadgar time. Because like people knew Khadgar at this time. Especially like the people who played, he was literally the only character that people might instantly recognize.
Well, he's the hero. Like, I mean, arguably, he's the main hero of Warcraft for the Humans campaign, because it's him that goes to the Black Morass and finds the World Gate, and he's like, "Look, we got to shut this thing down," and he ends up getting freaking screwed over by it. But like that, like he was the prominent hero for that. Like he was the main actor for that Warcraft. Human side, and it just they're like, yep, he's kind of this weird like Filipino kid. I'm like, what? Like,
I think the actor did a good job. They're obviously playing up the youngness, and they're also playing up they're very clearly signaling he's the next Guardian. Like they go just short of like just saying it outright, but all the like there is like screaming subtext
stuff. That's Medivh's
like he's constantly holding it. Medivh's like, you did good. There's literally like this magic MacGuffin box that has Glenn Close inside of it. Yes, that was Glenn Close in that scene. Who says, you are important. Everyone else is stupid poopy head. You are important, Khadgar.
Yeah, they make it very obvious, and you're right with the timing. It is good timing because at the time, Warlords of Draenor was the expansion. That was actually the last expansion I really liked. And the thing is, Warlords of Draenor takes place during.
That is a very, very hot take right there.
Well, I'm just a simp for Grom and Garrosh because Garrosh did nothing wrong. He did everything.
Correct. You watched that video.
Garrosh really didn't.
I never watched any video. I just know that Garrosh did nothing wrong, and he needs to make Orgrimmar great again.
Yeah. Oh my god!
Burn that tree down and tell that clever
Orange Orc bad. Orange Orc bad.
No, that's exactly the problem with when they got these like softy, and I hate to say it, the soy guys to come in and write after the rock stars left. It turned into this thing where there's like moral relativism.
I mean, Chris Metzen was still at the helm.
Dude, he was not at the helm. He was there, but in name, pretty much only. It's kind of like Hideo Kojima and the Lords of Shadow thing. But the problem though is you've got all these millions of stories that are running, and you've got a bunch of people hired. Like, this is their only job, is to be continuity experts, and they're not doing their freaking jobs. You got autistic kids in red shirts going to the conventions that knew more shit than them. You know?
Oh my
And
god,
these people,
I love that.
yeah. And so you've got these stories that are just going, every which way. And in all actuality, all three of their freaking properties started bleeding into one another. They have no distinction between Warcraft and Diablo and like they're all kind of like one and the same. They all literally have a Kerrigan Queen of Blades, a Shiablo or now Lilith or whatever, and then they have freaking the Banshee herself there. And I'm like, you guys need to, like, it's this one trick pony with your stories. Like, learn a new tune.
The problem with, like, if we're gonna just like bitch about World of Warcraft story, is the World of Warcraft expansions used to be, all right, which horde leader are we killing this expansion? Like Thrall based, like, I'm sorry, I'm a big Vol'jin fan, and like I was all,
here.
like Thrall got shafted hard. Like he basically became the war chief of the horde, did literally nothing during Warlords of Draenor, and then he died to trash. Like Varian went out like a freaking boss. Like he got a good death. Even as a horde player, I like that scene. He went out like a freaking boss. But like Vol'jin literally died to trash, a trash mob.
Dude, they also they wanted to
Rip.
they wanted to make everybody good. And that you can't do that with orcs and humans. Like the Horde versus the Alliance, you can make them sympathetic, meaning that for every villain, for every eye that sees a hero, there's an equal eye that sees a villain. And you could have had Thrall being this wise, good guy that is just thoroughly destroying the humans. And instead, they're like, nope, he's now like a peace walker or whatever. And I'm like, come on! You castrated the Horde. Like, I could hear the guy from Cannibal Corpse calling everybody the derogatory F slur.
See, that's kind of the problem is like there are like some shady parts of the Alliance, but there's such a glazing with the Alliance. You can tell Blizzard has a Horde bias, a Alliance bias, and as much as they do, like they try sometimes to give the Horde good characters, like Sourfang. I think Sourfang was probably the best part of the war of Battle for Azeroth.
The old veteran.
Yeah, Sylvanas was an interesting character, but like you can tell they didn't have had no idea what to do with their opponents. Well, I think Sylvanas pre Cataclysm was an interesting character when her things like, all right, I want to kill Arthas, but after that, you could tell they had no idea what to do with their character. Beyond that,
they again, it's that one trick pony where they basically have Sylvanas, Kerrigan, and Lilith or the Shiablo thing from Diablo 3. And it's like they made it like the exact same character. It's like the same motivations, the same like, I'm evil, but I'm good. I'm looking out for my people, but I'm really not.
And when they killed off Sylvanas, they literally replaced the Horde, the Forsaken leader is Lillian Voss, a character from Cataclysm. Who let me tell you her backstory. So she was raised by this by the Scarlet Crusade to fight the Forsaken, and then she was all right, who is this? Oh, Nyx is back. Okay, cool. And then she was killed, and then because she was Forsaken now, her father wants to kill her. So she's literally Forsaken for becoming Forsaken. And she's this really cool rogue character that has all these cool powers that other Forsaken don't have. She's a totally original C. Please don't steal.
I personally just think that I used to love World of Warcraft, but I loved it more for kind of the experience and the atmosphere and the world building. But actually telling a cohesive story is effectively impossible in an MMO because World of Warcraft and other MMOs have always had the problem where it's like, okay, we have to tell a story, except it can never end. Never, ever, ever end. It has to always go on. And millions of people are the hero and they have to all matter in this like personal story. And it's just like, okay, when World of Warcraft ends every expansion where it's like, you, the hero did it. It's just like, it's impossible. It's impossible to care.
See, there's a reason why people say it fell off after Lich King, because like Vanilla, Burning Crusade, and then Wrath of Lich King, there's a good progression there. But also it's you're a hero. Like, you're a group of adventurers. Like, oftentimes, the people who killed these big bosses, you didn't kill the boss. You helped the person kill the boss, you know?
Yeah, and really the story, to me, of Warcraft pretty much ended with Lich King as well, and it shows with
Yeah.
Cataclysm, because I always say Warcraft 3, it's my favorite RTS of all time. It's one of the best stories ever told in a game, in my opinion. I will always be depressed that we're never going to see a live action version of Warcraft 3 done well.
Henry Cavill as Arthas.
That would have been amazing. Yeah, I want to see him commit mass genocide. That would have been awesome. But yeah, it's just, it always kind of rubbed me the wrong way, even though I loved World of Warcraft at the time, that it's like you end your story that was in an RTS in the third expansion of an MMO, and that's how you have to kind of experience that finale. And then after that, they're like, okay, what do we do? Let's have a big dragon just kind of shake things up, literally. And it's like, all right, okay. And then after that,
Deathwing has existed in they have these things that existed in the lore. I mean, they literally made an entire expansion out of a joke character from one of the Warcraft 3 campaigns. Chum Stormstout.
Mhm.
And then, but as things went on, they literally just burnt through the whole Najatar section of Battle for Azeroth could have been its own expansion. Like Lady Vaj, the whole Naga stuff. That there's stuff that could have been its own expansion. They just totally missed.
Naga,
people have been asking for the Naga forever, and I don't know. I guess they just don't know how to equip pants to these weird mermaid type people. But yeah, oh yeah, we could have had a Murloc expansion. But I mean, man, if we're talking about the games, it's just like you were saying, Chris, Blizzard's just fallen off. It's not even just a merging of all their ideas and everything. It's just they've really sabotaged and just been terrible with all of their IPs. I think Overwatch was the last one, and you can really kind of measure Blizzard and their steep decline with Overwatch. They had a hit, and then just slowly they were ticking away at it, and now everybody hates it. Everybody in that game is gay and desexualized, and then it's the monetization is just terrible. The gameplay isn't fun anymore. And then, of course, that's why you have companies like NetEase being like, okay, we're gonna do what they did, except not fuck it up.
Yeah.
Yay. So but yeah, in terms of Warcraft, I mean, man, I used to love it. And this is pretty much the last thing I loved of it was the movie, because it felt like it was kind of a return to form. And
to me, Legion was the last good expansion. I really enjoyed it. It really felt like Legion, they were going all out. Like, they give everyone a legendary, oh, Paladins can wield Ashbringer. Oh, you can, Frosty Case can wield the shard, do two swords of Shard of Frostmourne. Everyone got, a big weapon,
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed time with it until Endgame, and I had to deal with the crack addicts. But I like the idea of there was this new area, and you could quest in any area that you wanted. So that was that big change.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, not only the new demon hunters, but it was the fact that it's you could go over here. So I had friends that were going over in this category, and I was like, well, this thing interests me more, so I'm going to go quest there. I was always.
What do you think of the class order halls?
Class of order? I barely fucking remember this.
So each class got an order hall. You had a class a class order hall quest. Each class got a unique order hall, a unique little area.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, I barely remember this. Yeah, that was all right. I don't know if I did it much. The thing that was so good about World of Warcraft was that it's in the name. It's in the name, and this was kind of the original design. Is it was supposed to be a world, a living, breathing world, and you kind of go about it how you want. You can kind of play how you want. And so it was interesting hearing Nick say it wasn't really for her when it really had something for everybody. I never did I need to be the best of the best of the best, and I'm going to be rating every single day, and I can't do anything else during these times. I was like, no, fuck that. I have other stuff to do. For me, I was kind of like a lone wolf, and I just liked questing and just being in the world.
Yeah, that's me. That's me currently playing Turtle WoW. But I think Internet Crusader kind of hits on a good point. I feel like a major part of why this movie flopped was because it was produced in response to popular WoW, and most people this movie, while if you don't know anything about WoW, it can be enjoyable, but it is best enjoyed if you know World of Warcraft, if you know the backstory, if you have the full context for everything, and that's a detriment to the movie.
Well, most people who play WoW don't give a shit about the story, dude. There's three types of WoW players. You know, there's the people who played the RTS games and wanted to get more into the world, you know, get down to the on the ground level, the boots on the ground level. Then there's the people who have no idea what it is. They're either EverQuest players or whatever, you know, and they're like, oh, it's another MMO. And hey, look, the mechanics are actually better. Like I'm not leveling down. I'm not doing other stupid shit. Like these guys clearly refined how to play an MMO. And then the third ones are just the uber casuals. They're the ones that like probably bought like a Walmart time card or whatever. Like they don't even have subscriptions.
Right.
You know?
Wait,
and
people actually played EverQuest?
Oh my god, dude. Level Quest back in the day, like it was the most masochistic game I've ever played.
So Nix, I'm sure you've heard the term World of Warcraft, right? Like WoW crack. Like that is like the original term is Evercrack. Like that was like because EverQuest came out in 1999. It was actually like the first big 3D MMO, the first big one. I'm not saying the first one, but it was like the first MMO to actually break into the mainstream. Mm-hmm. Like people who kind of don't realize, like 99 to 04, EverQuest was the MMO. James, am I getting this right here?
No, you're 100% right. I never played EverQuest. World of Warcraft was really my first and only MMO. MMO is kind of a genre where you find your one, in my opinion, and then that's all you're ever playing, similar with MOBAs. So, yeah, next, maybe you just never found your MMO. The only other one I really dabbled in was DC Universe Online. But
I'm not big on MMOs for one reason and one reason only. I don't like how cluttered the screen gets.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Makes me feel weirdly claustrophobic, and I don't like playing those games for that reason.
That is why I can't play Black Desert Online. Like, it looks beautiful, mechanics are interesting, but oh my god, like the screen is like there's like this like 30% of the window.
Looks like an airplane cockpit.
So when you were trying,
and like every few seconds, there's like a sound going off or like an alert.
This is my grindhouse, because that's what I do as a day job. I'm a UX designer, okay? And the reason why it hit World of Warcraft particularly hard is because their original UI was not designed for what the game became.
That's true. Yeah.
And in the original, like vanilla back in the day, you know, you're like just wandering through the single player content, you're doing a couple of battlegrounds. If they like the battlegrounds were small at the time, you know, you didn't have the mega like a raid like was a big deal, and it was something that was so intended for high level end game players that most players never even saw them.
What's the statistic for Naxxramas? Like 1% of all WoW players actually entered Naxxramas, let alone
and the UI wasn't designed for that.
Yeah. Yes. So, Nix, when you tried this game with your brother, did he like install every mod known to man and just completely fuck up your UI? Because like you can play World of Warcraft for thousands of hours and just use like 5 abilities and have a gay old time. Like you don't have to have your
like
super exhausting UI.
Nowadays, it's so easy. Like there's console port. There's an add-on that lets you play it with a controller nowadays.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Damn. That's
sounds like
it
heresy.
It was just vanilla World of Warcraft, and it was very overwhelming for me. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, so you'll have to pay a subscription." And I was like, "All right, I'm getting out of this."
Well, that's why I play on Turtle WoW, which is a vanilla plus private server. I don't pay jack fucking shit. So if anyone you want to join me on Turtle WoW, I'd be happy to play with you.
Yeah, I might, because I'm never giving.
Plays it, though.
Oh?
Or he used to. I don't know if he still does, but I remember giving him a lot of like different WoW cards over the years, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is my pet. This is my pet. Oh yeah, over here is my pet." And I'm like, "Oh,
he's a hunter.
Cool."
Or a warlock.
I was always a warlock. Here's my pet. That's just a naked woman. Yes.
I mean, I myself, I do like the hunter life, I will say.
I was always a warlock, undead warlock main for the horde.
I remember when I played Classic WoW. I actually started rolled a warlock, and it was fun. I need to try that.
Do you remember so rogues back in the day in vanilla were like the ultimate like crowd control? Like there's actually a guild called Sapped Girls Can't Say No.
I remember.
Oh
I
God!
remember that. Yeah.
Because you could
was
literally
good.
just paralyze a character, and the design was so poorly implemented at the time. I could tell you horror stories about how poorly implemented early designs were, but they basically didn't realize that you could do class synergies. So you just have a rogue who paralyzes somebody, and then you get somebody else who just beat the shit out of this character, and then the rogue just goes, "Okay, and I'm gonna was a kidney shot you again," and they're like, "What the hell, man?"
I will never not feel rage looking at a gnome rogue in Hillsbrad Foothills. That was just the most
Oh
painful
God!
time of my life. Those little fucking dancing bastards. I can swear on this channel, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
you
I
can.
asked 46 minutes later. Good lord. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
my God.
usually once we're in deep past where like no YouTube moderator is gonna go this fucking far.
They won't want to. It's like, oh, they're talking about Warcraft.
Oh, another
Which-
video with James. Click off.
That's valid. But that's actually, to go back to the movie really quick, because I want to insult every person possible. My main opinion of why the Warcraft movie did poorly, and I do believe Flame Mage said this in the chat. It did poorly in the West. China ate this up. Actually,
Yep.
I think it was Jackie Chan said this movie is the Renaissance for China. It's Chinawood pretty much, and he did a speech on this movie and said it was such a big deal. So I was always hopeful.
Why?
I thought we were going to get a sequel because China ate this movie up, and it actually made a profit solely because of China. But I just want to point out, and you can call me John Cena Bing chilling Chinese chill all you want. I am playing Marvel Rivals nonstop, but my opinion, the main reason this movie did bad is people are stupid, because I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many interviews I watched with the director of the World of Warcraft movie, and literally there was Hollywood journalists. Their job is knowing film, and they were interviewing him, and I shit you not, I kept hearing the question, I don't get it. Why the orcs good? And he's like, excuse me? And then they would say, oh, well, in Lord of the Rings, the orcs are bad and killing the tiny people. Why are they sympathetic and good now? And he had to be
The tiny people.
he
So-
looked like he was having a stroke, and he had to be like, you know that
So-
this is not Lord of the Rings, right? They just see orcs and they think it's a Lord of the Rings movie. I'm not joking. And the
do you-
That's
do you know-
racism.
Do you know who? Do you know who the director was? Like, do you know who that was? That was Duncan Jones,
Jones.
the son of David Bowie,
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
who is
Oh.
also a huge, massive World of Warcraft fan.
The man who
Yeah.
sold.
And
the
I
world of
think it
Warcraft.
shows. Like he knows his stuff, and everything in this movie is there. I know a lot
Yes,
of people.
Justin. Yeah.
I-
Oh, and fun fact: David Bowie actually did get to see a rough cut of this film before he died.
Oh, that's great.
Aw,
I,
that's nice.
I hope he
Also-
didn't hate it. He's just like, you have failed me, son.
Send him off to the.
Like,
I have no
Send your
son.
packet with this shit shoot.
by the way, this is my character on Turtle WoW. I've literally just been,
This is great. Oh my god.
yeah, I'm in Ashenvale right now.
Oh, this
I'm just
brings
running
me
around
back.
Splinter T.
Man,
Yeah.
the amount of time I've spent in World of Warcraft, and I've said this before on other streams, but it's just I will never go back to Blizzard. I'll never pay money for them again, because my kind of final note with them is Vanilla WoW. I thought if they nailed Vanilla WoW, that's the only game I ever have to play, because Vanilla WoW is my favorite. Then I started to notice changes. I'm like, what do you mean changes? It's supposed to be Vanilla WoW. It's supposed to be as it was. And they were like, well, we don't want people going in and mass suiciding themselves to spell out words. And all of us were like, I didn't know you could do that, and now I want to. Thank you. And the final nail in the coffin for me was like the thing that made WoW so special and so unique was that it was originally intentionally designed that you are like forced to live in this world, and you're forced to make friends, and you're supposed to socially interact with people. There's quests where it's like you have to pretty much go make a friend and help someone do this with you. Go fuck yourself. And so it happened. It was happening to me again, just like the old days. There was no queuing, there was no matchmaking, none of that shit was in there. And I found a guild that was pre-established, and I liked their name, and I thought it was funny. I joined it. I brought in my friend. We joined it, and then we were moving up the ranks. We were talking to these guys every day. and then all of a sudden we're flying over. What was it? We were flying. I always get Durotar and Durotan mixed up because it's such stupid names.
Durotar.
Durotar, named after Durotan. So we were flying
Yeah.
over Durotar, and Durotar was supposed to be the pole of World of Warcraft. That was the trade chat, right? That's where you say the most heinous shit. Don't go there if you have,
No,
soft
Baron's
skin.
chat. Baron's chat.
Baron's
Chuck
chat. Okay,
Norris
yeah.
jokes.
Yeah, so we were around Baron's chat. That's right, Baron's chat. And all of a sudden I saw people complaining about our guild and just our guild name. And we all went, oh, fuck. And here's the thing, and here's why you can never go back, is this never would have happened in Vanilla WoW. Our guild, because of so many reports from thin-skinned people in Baron's chat, wiped us out and disbanded our like 60-person guild that we were talking to every day. And that was
What was the
final
name
nail.
of the guild?
I mean, I will say it would as okay.
Type it
as
in
a,
chat. Type it in chat.
As a troll, it was about your people and it was about your tribe and maybe a physical characteristic of your tribe.
Oi, they shut it down. The Goyim know.
Okay, Chris knows it.
Was it
Chris
Orcs
gets
Lives Matter? Was it Orcs Lives
No,
Matter?
no, it was before any of that. It was
The
about
long nose.
yeah, actually, Chris knows. Did you ban me, Chris? Did you, like, that was it. And so, yeah, we got banned for that, and they completely obliterated us. And I said, okay, Blizzard, you've lost the plot. That name was subtle enough that if it did get reported to old Blizzard, they may have had a laugh and been like, all right, watch out, guys. But they would have never banned that. They would have never banned that. And now it's like you've completely lost the plot, and I will never
like people reporting names or whatever, like, you're not allowed to be political in this group, because you have a you have a your group is called Make Azeroth Great Again. It's and the initials is literally MAGA, but no, if it's like Blackwing Glare Matters or whatever. God, that's actually kind of good.
No, well, you mentioned old Blizzard, like. For me, like it's definitely the Ship of Theseus kind of thing, where like the Blizzard we see today is literally no original parts.
Agreed.
Anybody that made Blizzard what Blizzard was 10 years ago no longer works there.
Yeah.
But for me, the thing that got me to uninstall BattleNet was the Blitzchung thing.
Oh.
And all of the stuff I've seen since the Blitzchung thing has justified my uninstallation. Like I was like, oh look, what do you mean they stole my Overwatch 1 from me and forced me into this shitty Overwatch 2 thing? Like I paid for Overwatch 1. I bought it from you. Where the hell's my game? They're like, oh well, you just bought a license to access this game.
This
I'm
isn't
like,
necessarily
I'm gonna pirate this.
This is like tangentially related, but I just need to complain about this. I really don't like what Activision did to Vicarious Visions, because they did like a really excellent Tony Hawk game. They worked on the Diablo 2 port. They're like, oh, you just did 2 really great games for us in a row that are actually successful, and people actually like them. Off to the Call of Duty mines for you.
I don't want to go too off topic, but yeah, did you hear what Tony Hawk going completely mask off about that whole situation? If not, like you gotta, I can tell you about it super quick.
Yeah,
but
What?
yeah, no. So Tony Hawk, because Tony Hawk is completely on at least my side with it. And yeah, so guys, if you don't know, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Vicarious Visions, the remake was universally well liked. It sold well. And so, yeah, Activision was like, but Blizzard's burning down because they keep making stupid decisions. So they just took Vicarious Visions and merged them into Blizzard. But they still want, and this is all coming from Tony Hawk, they still wanted to do the sequel to the Tony Hawk remake. And it's like, but you just killed the company that did the first one. Activision literally went around to all the other companies they own and they said, pitch us the sequel. And they're like, a lot of the companies were like, you just got rid of the people that would do it. And then other people would be like, okay, I want money. We could do this. And they're like, no, we want what they did. Then why'd you get rid of them? What? And so, Tony Hawk was super mad. He was on a Twitch stream just like venting about this, and it's just
because they could have gotten at least 2 more games out of it, like a 3 and 4 remake and Thug 1 and 2. Like
3 and 4 was the plan. Yeah,
3, 4, and then they could have done a Tony Hawk Underground 1 and 2, because Underground 2 was probably the end of like the golden age of Tony Hawk.
If they don't censor BAM again, anyway. Yeah, Chris.
Dude, just a side note: don't work in that shitty industry. Like, honestly, you
God.
just explained that perseverance and merit is punished. You know,
Yeah.
they have no concept of talent retention. Did you see what happened to that Veilguard thing where they got the, you know, the fruity cake stuff going on, and they had the lead that pushed, you know, she whatever's agenda through Dragon Age Veilguard.
Bye, guys.
And
I just threw in the
Yeah.
game. I'm leaving
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I drove it into an iceberg. See you later. I'm gonna go sail on my golden parachute. And every one of those freaking devs got laid off. They all got let go.
Yeah, and
Thanks,
also
guys.
EA and BioWare were lying for them. We talked about this last night. on the Man
Oh
of Madness
God,
podcast.
Justin. I mean, James, look at this one.
Oh, that would have been fucking sick, man. And if you do want something like that, there is a modded free-to-play version of Tony Hawk Underground where it is kind of like open world.
Dog Pro?
People, yeah, that's
Oh,
it. Dog Pro. And super fun, super cool. And so you can just kind of open world skate with people around the world. Super cool. So it exists. Blessed be the modders. They give us the games that
Yes.
these horrible companies will not.
Yes.
But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so they BioWare and EA were lying, saying like no one's laid off. We're just shuffling them around in EA, and it's like that was a lie, and they actually were laid off. And now there's a bunch of community notes going over on Twitter to be like, no, they were let go. You are saying not, and there's no legal repercussions because they all had to sign TOSs,
NDAs.
NDAs, just to say that they can't say anything, but we know. Because all the veterans that were laid off, like they don't give a fuck. They want to retire. It's insane.
No, my LinkedIn looks like an abattoir. Like all of my LinkedIn connections or whatever, dude. There is it's a considerable amount, more than half, closer to like 70-80% now of former colleagues that are in the industry that are no longer working, and some of them have been out of action now for about 13 months.
Yeah. And I mean, we had an hour-long conversation about this yesterday. If the Western AAA industry doesn't shape up and actually change course, then I mean, it's just going to die. Like Ubisoft is going to die after Assassin's Creed Shadows.
I think AAA games. I mean, AAA gaming is already dead. The only thing that's keeping the industry alive is indie, and also we're seeing the rise, the like the Phoenix itself. And we're seeing the rebirth of AA gaming.
Yeah. Oh my God. I will.
Since Assassin's Creed was brought up, I just want to bring up real quick. So Chris, especially because this was something we'd brought up
Chris,
before.
the original developer of Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh God, not that! Don't say that. I can't do my email inbox and all this stuff telling me I'm a liar and all that. Oh,
James
God,
has no context for the record.
Okay.
I kind of know, but yeah.
Okay, Chris, Chris, James does not know the lore of the show. Can you please explain it to him like the 5-year-old he is?
Are we doxing
back
people?
Anyway, 2013, back in 2013, I was hired on from a contracted company by Ubisoft to work on an Assassin's Creed game, and it was a shitty mobile game. I worked on the narrative team, and we wrote an entire piece on the Sengoku Jidai period of Japan with our own characters and all this stuff. And to make it even more authentic, they shipped our asses out to Tokyo, and we basically talked to people that are historian experts, whatever. We visited Shinto shrines. We did the whole thing because we wanted to make sure this is Assassin's Creed. We wanted the real deal. So we did all this stuff. We had all these back and forths with the narrative directors, the narrative team. We did not want a piece of Eden of the week. So no, this is shit, and like I'd have to rewrite more shit. And my other team members would be, doing the same stuff. But we finally got around, limped across the finish line, and got an official canonized story that was going into Assassin's Creed with a character called Taka Yamauchi, which is, like going with the naming conventions. All Assassin's Creed protagonists were named after birds of prey. You had Altair, who, that's eagle. Ezio, that's also eagle. Whatever.
It's an eagle in Italian.
Yeah, well, the Connor, they're like, that whatever his freaking name is some bird of prey. But like, we did all this shit, and then the company imploded because the shitty mobile game, quote unquote, didn't do well. So I left the industry, and I was like, whatever, it's in the past. And every game that I've ever worked on was a service-based game. Firefall, for example, I worked on a game called Defiance, TV show / video game. Total
Oh,
crap.
yeah.
Like all of these games just are services. And when they go out, I literally have a bunch of worthless install discs and nothing to show for the decade that I wasted in that shitty industry. So when they announced Assassin's Creed Shadows, I recalled the conversations I had with some of these guys. And they're like, this is our Hail Mary. Like, everybody's wanted ninjas since Ezio. You know, they're like, we're finally going to do the Sengoku Jidai period of Japan. We're going to do the Assassin's Creed ninjas. And I'm like, awesome, dude, I'm in. I worked on that shit. I'm super excited. And they're like, nope, we're going to do Blackety Black Yasuke, which means the black one.
Blackity black, don't talk back.
Get this.
so I'm
what
like,
if we
wait a
added
minute.
black people?
So I was like, I made this like little bitchy emo like wrist cutting tweet on Twitter. I'm like, I literally have nothing to show for the 10 years that I wasted in this shitty industry. Of all the things that I worked on, I thought this one thing, because we worked so hard to just get it canonized, to get it into the official timeline that all Assassin's Creed employees have to adhere to. Because when you're working on Assassin's Creed, you can't make anachronisms. You can't have a character. Ezio can't be in Spain in 1604 and also in Northern Africa.
Anachronisms. You mean like having watermelons, which are a spring fruit, in like the same area with cherry blossoms with the summer?
Watermelons. Oh my god, why is everyone complaining about these watermelons? Who cares?
Because watermelons equal black, equal racist.
Oh, no.
People making the association, I think it's so silly. I don't want to cut off Chris's rant because he's explaining something really cool, but like, I just don't understand why people are freaking out over this thing that's in the background that most of us wouldn't even realize that they're out of season. Because of the internet, we all know.
I think the
somebody
big thing
like
is,
nitpicked on it, and now everyone's getting dramatic about it. And I'm like,
well, I think
when I'm playing a video game, I'll just hit a fruit. Like, it doesn't matter.
If you have a black person within 50 yards of watermelons, it's considered racist.
I think the music was racist, where they're like, hey, they got a black guy beating the shit out of a bunch of Asians, stop Asian hate. And all of a sudden you hear like,
oh God.
Like, what the hell, guys?
Okay,
wait. Grape soda sake bar.
It just hurts my brain that people are obsessing over the watermelons being in the game, because it's like, I get that Ubisoft wants to be historically accurate, as Chris is explaining really well, but like, no one would notice this as a gamer. And now we're nitpicking at Ubisoft
Were
because
watermelons
they claim
even
this, and we're trying to...
in Japan at the time?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know, but that's the point. Like, how many people know?
But that would be an anachronism, though. That would be an anachronism.
Absolutely, but my point is that gamers like normally do not care to this degree.
Yeah,
this is insane.
On things that nobody cares about.
Like, I get like getting upset at like lore accuracy with characters, all that kind of stuff.
JB.
Yeah,
I'm totally for that. But like, when you're getting mad at like a fruit in the background that you would like, who is researching? Oh, this type of flower, they don't plant those seeds in January. That happens in like November.
Let me tell you who it is.
What?
It's people. It's people who need outrage. Who basically their whole identity, the whole reason they have cloud internet is because their whole identity is screaming at a camera. This thing that everyone's mad about at this week. I'm also mad about it too. It's bad.
No, you need weaponized autists for your game development, because when we visited this one shrine, dude, like, there was a purification ritual that you had to partake in, and it was like so asininely overly convoluted. Like, pour the water on your left hand, and then pour the water from your left hand onto the back of your right hand, and then brush it off in one stroke. And I'm like, that's great. And I'm like, is this really important?
Exactly. Chris gets it. It's like, there's certain things where it's like, is it really that significant?
Yeah. But we recorded it anyways. We're like, we'll record it because there's going to be some autistic person that's going to spurg out about it. But like, I'm looking at this going, is this really the what you're getting your money's worth, developer, by sending my ass to Tokyo to 3,000 miles across the Pacific Ocean?
I think Justin raises a good point here. When a story sucks, introduces aspects that take someone out of the story, they disconnect and start to notice tiny details. Like, I've had that happen to me all the time. Like I'm doing a game.
I totally, by the way, Justin, I totally agree. Like, I'm not even disagreeing. I nitpick at things like Star Wars and all this stuff all the time. But, like, at a certain point, it's like people are getting mad at a fruit in the background that is just meant
Okay.
to like, be a prop. Like, that's it.
Yeah, sorry, Nick.
But main
All right,
point. So you guys remember how I brought up last stream that there was a character called Yaya and they were a sumo wrestler, and I said the face looked a little too feminine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's fat.
Well, it turns out this is a woman sumo wrestler, and you want to know why that's a problem?
Yeah, there's no such
Because
thing
all
as female
Gonna
throughout-
die by 30.
diabetes.
No, okay, so I'm actually kind of really. I spent a long time researching like ancient Japanese stuff, and sumo wrestling is kind of considered to be kind of like a religious thing
Thanks,
too.
Yeah,
JB.
it's part of the Shinto
JB.
stuff. Yeah.
Women are not allowed to this day to step foot in a sumo ring. It is unallowed.
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
There are female sumo wrestlers, and there is like a female sumo wrestling league, but it is not taken seriously at all. And people have been coming out of the woodworks on different posts saying, "Oh, well, Emperor so and so had his concubines stripped down and sumo wrestle," and I'm like, "Yeah,
Okay.
It was-
The one
40
guy
dude
in
making
history
his
of
wo-
Japan had a fat girl fetish. and
See, again,
now-
what Nick is saying is a legitimate concern. I agree
Yeah.
with that. That's
Yeah.
fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think that you get to a certain
That's-
point where it's like too nitpicky.
See, I find the
Yeah.
watermelons to be funny, and I said
Exactly.
this in the pre-show that
Oh, God.
it's all hysterical because like the
But-
opening of this game, like when they first debuted it, you can literally hear sick urban beats while
Yeah.
the guy like is like decapitating Japanese people, and I'm like,
Alright,
this is
alright.
hilarious. They're so stupid, and that's
So-
who they're adding on the top there is that
Another
Yokozuna
thing I
wannabe.
want to add about the females in sumo wrestling, there was an accident at one point somewhere in the last like few years, and the paramedics that came to take the wrestler away were female, and they were not allowed into the
To
ring
touch.
to help this man. And when they left, staff came out and had to like pour water or salt all over and
Oh no!
purify the area.
We gotta get rid of the cooties. We gotta get rid of the cooties,
No,
guys. There's
no,
women,
but that's-
there's estrogen in the arena. We have to purge the estrogen.
No,
dude,
this is
that's-
because to the Japanese, women
It's
are
a-
considered impure.
Oh.
Essentially,
Is
they
it just
can't
the
be
Japanese?
involved in a lot of religious things.
Well, I'm sure
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Shadows is gonna sell well then over there.
Well, the whole Naue thing, like, so they have like this, like, their main ninja protagonist is this like lesbian chick, and it's like you weren't allowed to be butchy and opinionated and stuff.
Oh,
back
God.
in-
Oh God,
Like-
yes. Parappa the Rappa's Creed.
Unironically,
Yeah.
it'd be better. It would-
yeah, well,
It would
Kick,
be.
kick, 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 punch, punch, punch.
no, they wouldn't. Like, honestly, none of this shit would have even been an issue if they would have just like not made this an Assassin's Creed game. But this is their Hail Mary, guys. Like, this is their, we are hurting, sales are down. There's only so many remakes of our older, more successful games that we can do. We pulled it off the rails. I could tell you horror stories about what happened to Patrice Deslitz twice. You know, like they're desperate. And unfortunately, when you pulled out anybody that was worth a damn out of the company and replaced it with these people that watch Comedy Central on company time through Hulu Plus, not that that's very specific or anything, or that I've seen it, but these are the people that poison your company, and they're the ones that get all of these like office politicians. They get these people that are fake experts. They get these people that like they speak with great confidence.
Oh
you know,
yes,
the Dunning-Kruger
Yasuke was
effect.
totally samurai. I have all
Yeah,
these
well,
pictures
'cause-
that I can quote.
There's already been a Black Samurai game out there with Samuel L. Jackson in it, you know, Afro Samurai, and nobody
Anime.
cares
Woo!
because
There's
it's
an anime.
awesome.
There's
It's
an anime.
awesome. Yeah, and it's good. And I think Yasuke was even in the Neo games, you know,
I think
and
it's
it's
kind of
not-
funny too because we've
or
had
Sekiro actually.
ancient Japanese, but with like more urban, modern stuff going on. We had Samurai
Like
Champloo.
you want to do it. Like
Yes.
you want to do a black.
And
you
it's
wanna do a-
amazing. People love it.
So good.
See,
But
see,
it makes
this is-
sense for that
This
story.
is the problem, okay? You want to do a story about a black samurai in Japan. You can do that. Like you
Just
could
don't
do
make
that,
it
like
historical. Like
historical. You know, it's like, okay, this is like, what if an African slave? Like you could even do Yasuke. Like you want to fictionalize it, say this is totally fiction. This is like historical fan fiction or something.
Wait,
We're
I was
not trying to
interested in the what if an African slave like they shipped over to Japan and then they like
Go
worked their
on.
way up the ranks?
The ship got
the
lost
last
along the
samurai,
way.
but with
It's
a black
all right.
guy. The last samurai, but with a black guy. You know, whatever.
They're really bad at
that
charting.
and like, yeah. Well, so the whole point of it, like, a lot of people don't understand like what samurai is. It's a social class. It's not like a profession, you know. And when you're samurai, that's part of your lineage. Like, you know, you're under the daimyo, the great names. That's what daimyo means, great name, and or big name.
Wait,
and
Justin, so
you're
you want an
a
Assassin's
noble.
Creed? Sorry, I gotta call this out. So you want an Assassin's Creed game? You want a Castlevania game? That's what you want. You want Ubisoft to make a Castlevania game.
All right, hold
So
on.
There is an
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed in Wallachia.
Oh my god! But here's the
It's not
thing:
a game,
you
though.
really don't want the Vlad the Impaler Assassin's Creed game, and this is what I want to rant about here. Chris, I want to thank you for being a genuine person in the industry and actually like fighting for like good games and like good game design and everything. And I'm
Absolutely.
sorry. I'm actually sorry that it chewed you up and spat you out and it's burning. But I have hated Ubisoft as long as I can remember. I hate Ubisoft, and they have been terrible since before Assassin's Creed was even a thing. Assassin's Creed as a franchise has been inherently subversive from the start, and all this entire franchise has just been backstabbing people constantly. The first game is shitting on Christianity nonstop. And here's the thing: the original game was not even supposed to be Assassin's Creed, and I can't remember the name. I was trying to look up the
Prince of Persia.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be an open world
Stands
Prince
the
of
time
Persia.
engine.
I can't remember the developer, but pretty much the lead of the amazing Prince of Persia trilogy on the PS2 and Xbox. It was his idea to make the next Assassin's Creed. The next.
It was so. The story is they're doing a game called Prince of Persia Assassins, where basically you had the prince and you had these assassins that protected him, and like he started researching more into the assassins, it became more and more about the assassins, and eventually they decided to make it just its own franchise. That's why if you look at like the parkour of the Prince of Persia series, it is a precursor to Assassin's Creed. Like you could see DNA of Prince of Persia in the original Assassin's Creed games.
But they didn't even just decide. Ubisoft decided. It was the Prince of Persia guy's idea, the lead on the original on the Xbox PS2 Prince of Persia's, to do an open world Prince of Persia. And they said, oh, that's a great idea. They turned it into an Assassin's Creed as an original IP, and then they fired him. They took his idea after he just gave them 3 games that were a success, took it, fired him, and that is Ubisoft's main game since. They actually brought this guy back years later and fired him again. So I just want to say, and so I just want to say I cannot wait for the downfall of Ubisoft. I know there is absolutely good people there, and I hope.
Ubisoft isn't the only company where like you have a really great game dev that like does great things that people respect, and justice for Amy Hennig.
This is an issue in the entire Western AAA industry, and Ubisoft is going to be the first big head to roll, and I cannot wait because I'm going to have my popcorn ready. I'm going to be celebrating it. There's good people that are still there. I hope they get better jobs at a better studio that treats them well, but man, fuck Ubisoft. I cannot wait for them to burn. Cannot wait.
It's so in the late 90s when PC games started getting destroyed by consoles, you know, they had like the first Xbox and they ushered in all these PC games. Like you were talking about modders before. Mods are what made the video game industry as great as it was, because you had these people that were immune to risk averse shareholders. You had free R&D, community created content that blew these games out of the water, but it also created rock stars. And that is antithetical to these bean counters and these corporations. You can't have a Cliff Bleszinski. You can't have American McGee. You know, you can't have a John Carmack, because when the companies start treating these people like shit, they get up and say, you know what? I'm going to take my name. I'm going to take my Brett Cooper audience with me. and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave your company.
Yeah, like
And
we started to see a lot of the Rockstar devs pop up in the 2000s. Like you notice how
And then they got
started
killed off.
in the 2010s. There was kind of like this concerted effort to get them on the units, like the Mega Man dev, obviously Amy Hennig. There's a Randy Pitchford. There's a lot of Rockstar devs that like obviously had the Sid Meier, the Will Wrights of the world. It goes back a long time, and
But
this is just
got
kind of a natural
screwed up.
thing to happen.
Dude, like what happened to Patrice? They fired that dude twice. This guy was your goose that laid the golden eggs, okay? And you fired his ass twice over creative differences.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Randy Pitchford's more of a magician, a bathroom magician, if you will. That's for sure. Don't pick up that man's USBs in the medieval times.
Hey,
let me tell you.
You want to see me make the sausage disappear?
Not from Randy. Oh God.
Randy.
Chris didn't get his punchline on why it mattered that the whole Assassin's Creed thing and his background with it.
Oh,
that's true.
Yeah, the whole situation of why that mattered that you worked in 2013 on that stuff.
Yeah, so I wrote this bitchy like, oh, woe is me thing about like lamenting that the one thing that I freaking contributed to this goddamn industry that I could say that I worked on and I did got freaking taken away from me because we got blackety black stuff and all this, they completely retconned and threw it out. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm seeing these YouTubers just popping up, like, and to their credit, there's been some awesome YouTubers that reached out to me. They're like, hey dude, I'm not going to run a story and just be like, sources, trust me, bro. Like, I'm going to need to verify. Like, is this legit?
Source
did you really?
Is I made it the duck up.
Well, no, it's like, did you legitimately work on this? Because I'm not going to make a video and have it be completely bullshit because it's gonna devalue me. Like, for example, Endymion, guy's awesome. Like, Endymion is a great YouTuber. The dude reached out to me, talked to me for a while about it, and he's like, "Can I use your name? Is there anything you can share or whatever? I don't want to get you in trouble, whatever." Fine. Other people were like, Chris Fisk is the former lead designer of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and he spills the tea on. I'm like, dude, I never worked on Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like, what the hell? And I started getting, like, my phone blew up, my emails, like everything. You're a liar, freaking piece of shit. Like, I'm looking at all these lawyers and shit looking at me on LinkedIn because you can see who looks at your profile. I'm like, what is going on? So yeah, that's why
Ubisoft lawyers were like, okay, how can we see this man into oblivion?
Yeah, and because I spilled the beans on that bitch fit that I did on Twitter. I was like, okay, fine.
Right, where's this NDA? Not gonna be... all right, no. Somebody go into the dungeon and try and find this guy's NDA.
Yeah, the statute of limitations on the NDA is probably long since passed because it was over a decade ago. But I was like, fine. If they're not going to use my shit, here it is, folks. So I gave the entire story that my team and I worked on for the Assassin's Creed Sengoku Jidai period. The character, like all the different plot points and stuff. And people were like, holy shit, dude, this would have been a good game. And I'm like, wow, my ego, whatever's left of it is getting totally like bolstered by this. And it's like, I can't wait until this game launches and the schadenfreude of me playing the violin over the smoldering remains of Ubisoft being like,
oh, yeah.
If you didn't friggin' chew me up and shit me out, you could have had a good game there, guys. But
well, Chris, I'm going to gas you up a little bit more here. He works on a comic and it's phenomenal. It looks gorgeous. Like everything he works on looks so good. James, you have to see it. I think you would really like it. Like the designs are beautiful. Right. You're always creative with displays, everything. It looks good.
We'll be sure to show Chris's comic at the end of the stream.
I'm just saying, like, have confidence in yourself, man. Like,
oh, it's a great comic. It is a beautiful comic. Like, seriously, it's better than mine. I'll say that much.
Oh, shit.
You make good stuff, too. What are you saying?
Yeah, my stuff is good. His is better, okay?
Oh, damn.
It's very different realms. Like, you're doing completely different things. That's all it is.
Yeah, I'm doing
I know like, Screecher's a good comic, but his stuff is better. All right, I'm just gonna say it.
You have to make a slide so you get.
I draw stick figures.
I write words, but anyway, Warcraft, Melee K. As a person who actually saw this movie, what are some of your favorite parts of it?
I was so confused throughout this entire movie. I was like, "Who is this character?" I don't understand what's going on with this character or this or that. Why is this person sad that this thing happened? But I will say, even with that, there were some moments that were super emotional, like watching the son die and like the emotional part between the Gamora knockoff character and the guy that looks like Aragorn, maybe. Uh it was a great movie, and I think, like, as somebody I know, I'm not a Warcraft fan. I don't understand any of it. I'm talking as a normie with this, I know that. But, yeah, I thought it was a really well done video game adaptation, and if Mario and Sonic weren't in the conversation for me, I probably would say this is one of the best adaptations just for, like, normies to understand what the hell this universe is. I thought it was a really well done film. I
Also,
know
can
that
I
as a fan you can nitpick it, and obviously I nitpicked Sonic so much, but if you don't know it, it's really good.
Also, can I just say, I want to like comment how well shot this movie is, because like, whenever I like freeze frame on a shot, the ones that aren't blurry messes, they're like these are all well composed shots. Like, oh
Absolutely.
my god, like like the director, direct photography. This is a very well shot film. Like the blocking, the posing, like literally every frame is almost picture worthy. Not
and
that one, but.
You can tell that Duncan Jones is a Warcraft fan because I said this, Kay, when we were last watching the movie, but the King's throne room looks exactly like it did in Warcraft 3, and that's
the Goldshire Inn is 1-for-1.
Yeah, it's crazy. And
well,
like,
to be fair, they don't have the cum stains on the walls, but that's the point.
Oh, they will come in multiple ways. But I mean, yeah, look at this here. Like
on
this
Moonguard, maybe. On
you
Moonguard, maybe.
You can tell
those
that
who know know.
Absolutely. You can tell that the basis of this is an RTS because they have wonderful shots where you can see like kind of the war band building up and the cities kind of building up just to kind of further the war effort. And it's like it looks like it's straight out of Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3. Let's see.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh, that's
you want to read that, James?
But see, Justin, this literally makes sense what you're saying. I got that from the movie, which makes the movie great, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, they cut out things in the movie that would confuse people. I think this movie was pretty much damned from the start because, like I said, the main issue is people are stupid. Because I know there's a lot of people that are like, well, they should have just started at when it got good, Warcraft 3. And it's like, man, if they were confused on Warcraft 1, imagine if they just went ahead and made Warcraft 3. People would be like, I don't get it. Why is Arthas like Darth Vader and orcs are good? And who is this Gul'dan guy? And why is there a talking skeleton? I don't understand. And so it's just,
well,
like
also
this was the baby steps, and people couldn't handle the baby steps.
Now, correct me, James. Wasn't the escape from Durmhold Keep like Thrall's whole origin story? Didn't that actually happen between 2 and 3? If I remember correctly,
it was actually going to be a Blizzard's point-and-click adventure, a la LucasArts.
Oh, Chronicles.
Yeah.
Clancy Brown. I think Clancy Brown is Thrall.
Dude, I played that the Warcraft Adventures there. The
really?
One.
I didn't know it was ever playable.
It wasn't officially. Yeah. But,
okay. Damn.
But it's pretty much complete. It was like 98% complete or something.
Yeah, they should have fucking released it. But,
look at this frame. I love this frame. Look at how much information like Duncan Jones puts in this one frame, and there's still so much space in it. I love it. The compositions.
There's so many little nods. Like my boy Grom is there, but he's in the background. But it's nice that he's there because I mean he plays such an important role in Warcraft 3. So there's just a lot. There's a lot of little things, and it's so I get upset every time I watch this movie because it feels like an appetizer, and it's just like, man, they set it up. This is just the blueprints. This movie is just a blueprint to get to Warcraft 3. That's really all it is. And so I really like this movie. But it just
Laughing Skull. Like they just like you can tell Duncan Jones. It's honestly no one who played World of Warcraft would have thought to include like Laughing Skulls.
Yeah, like this isn't a Doom movie or Resident Evil. Designer. Yeah, it's like he knows his stuff, but he's also trying to dumb it down so it's digestible to people. But if you're a fan, you can see all this, and
well,
it's
like
his
thing was successfully, I think.
Yeah, I think him was like, all right, 60%. Like most of the people who see these images will not understand. But I'm here for like the 40% of like the hardcore fans who are gonna like dissect every frame. I want them to see this. And
Yeah, Makara. You must
Makara.
respect it. Respect my Makara. But
friend.
it's such a shame because man, old Blizzard was so good, and because this movie
Mhm.
failed, like I mean, Diablo would be such a badass and cool movie to make. Imagine the Diablo movies where, spoiler alert, where the protagonist from the first one ends up being the antagonist in the second, and how cool that would be for people that don't know with the whole, shoving his crystal into his skull. Okay, you now know because I made.
I would have liked them to see the sequel to do Warcraft 2, honestly.
Yeah. Imagine how good a StarCraft movie would be with a charismatic Jim Raynor. Like, if you cast Jim Raynor correctly, holy shit.
Just
Because
make,
Warcraft 2 is Khadgar's game. That is Khadgar's time to shine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, get Hollywood out of this shit. Like, honestly, just get the cinematics team to put together a full feature-length animated film that is coherent, that starts, middle, and ends, and entices viewers to watch it as if it was a Hollywood movie. And that way you can get the only corporate meddling you're going to get is from the Blizzard team, and just push it out to like some production house or put it out on some freaking indie scene, like go to cons or whatever and shop it around, but have the thing already done, because this one reeked of corporate meddling. Like the casting, like every part of it, it was like, I love the fact that they
in
did
some
the love letter
places,
for
yes,
fans.
and other places, like for example, they made the swords into paddles, like the shields. Like the fact they made the sword so large, like I guarantee, like this, the people who forged those swords were like begging them, please, let's just make them regular swords, make them thinner. No, I want my paddles.
No, dude, those are your that's your 5-year employee sword.
That was a complaint, was whoever was in charge on the Alliance side of things, like everyone looks like they got nerfed while the orcs all look pretty damn good in my opinion. I've always been a Horde player, so I didn't care too much. But the Alliance are they're like modernized, you could say.
Well, the armor looks good. They even got like the big ass pauldrons, which is like a staple of WoW. But the problem is the humans are just like generic fantasy. They don't have any character. Like you can tell Duncan Jones is a Horde main, because the orcs got like there's an entire scene where they're just talking about the baby and like they're bonding and you actually get to know them. You don't really get those kind of scenes for the Alliance side. It's just more just more business. Be like A to B to C to D. Like Lothar is at Ironforge, but they don't call it Ironforge. But every Warcraft fan knows he's at the Great Forge of Ironforge.
Honestly, I couldn't understand Ragnar Lothbrok half the time too. Like, and it was so weird that like his character had this like accent, and yet like his other family members didn't. And I was like, why would they? Oh, it's because Vikings was taken off at the time, so let's get him in there.
But you want to know like the weirdest lore thing is, so in the World of Warcraft, I mean this isn't really canon, but at one point, Garona and Medivh were an item, and they had a kid named Madan. He was said to be set up to be the next Guardian. He's not canon anymore. He hasn't been canon for a long time. But what's funny is, in this movie, it is heavily implied that Garona is Medivh's father. Is Medivh's daughter.
Yeah, here's the thing is because overall what I've gathered is that normal people don't like this movie. Warcraft fans overall do like this movie. I love this movie, but there is some Warcraft fans that do hate this movie. And one thing they point out is lore inconsistencies. And they bring up Garona, but I have to say, I'm like, who fucking cares about Garona? Honestly,
she's
it's
a
just
bad
like
character.
She's such a C-list character. I've never cared about her. I barely knew she existed playing every Warcraft game.
Yeah,
and like you can do whatever. That's I think why they included her. It's like, well, it's like, is anyone gonna care? And a lot of people bring up Dalaran already floating, and I'm like, they can destroy another city in Warcraft 3. It's like they just wanted to have the cool effect of Dalaran floating there, and that was actually to appease modern WoW fans. Is like, look, Dalaran's floating, but then longtime fans will be like, but it's supposed to be destroyed, and then
there's the other thing. Here's the other big thing. Kalimdor doesn't exist. Like there's no mention of the Tauren, no Night Elves.
Well, that's very Warcraft 1 though, right? It comes like it's revealed later, and so
I'm sorry, I have to do this. My Garona.
because I know there's people that were like, I wanted troll representation, and I'm like, well, you can watch any Hollywood movie for troll representation, at least the ones with Zendaya in it. But I think like all of that is supposed to like come later, and so they really wanted this one to be orcs and humans. It's just orcs versus humans, but that's where Warcraft 2 could have been successful. It could have made it piratey, and you sail the seas, and then you get your troll bros, and you get your elves to be the archers.
Also, this takes place on a very small section of the Eastern Kingdoms, because like people don't like anyone who's played WoW. Like Karazhan is literally right next to the Blasted Land. Like Deadwood Pass is literally the next zone over. Like you even see like when Thrall's mother is doing the whole Moses thing. She's in Stranglethorn Vale. She literally crosses from the Grasslands. Like you can see the foliage. It's Stranglethorn Vale. And like it's and Stormwind is really close to Karazhan and all that area. The farthest out they go is Ironforge, and he probably took the Deep Run tram back to Stormwind or something.
He didn't go through the Thandal span. But
like Phoenix, you're very clearly a fan. Like you know the geography, and it's like you know your stuff. And then Kay, you are on the outside, but Kay, you're a big Lord of the Rings fan, and so this worked for you as a movie.
God,
and like understanding it.
I had the same feeling that like when I watched the original trilogy for Lord of the Rings, like Peter Jackson, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I don't know Warcraft lore at all, but I was like, this is great. I want them to do more of these films. I might become a huge Warcraft fan because of these films.
That's all right. We need to do it. We need to get Melee to play Turtle WoW.
I've actually been really wanting her to play Warcraft 3 because I think she'd love Warcraft 3. The problem is it's the most fucked remake has ever been.
Reforged,
there's always the high seas and getting the old version.
Yeah, if you can get a cracked version.
For the GOG Dream List, where you can vote to get GOG to add Warcraft 3, and it's like in the top 10.
Oh, Blizzard got so pissed when they announced that. They got so pissed.
They don't want people fucking up their like they fucked up all their games, and they're
Blizzard is like only we are allowed to fuck up our games.
In the top 10 most requested games, Diablo 2, Warcraft 3, and StarCraft. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, one point I wanted to make about Garona is. So Garona was only mentioned once in one of the cutscenes. It was like a kind of it was a one of our assassins has gotten close to the king and took him out, and that's it. That's Garona. That's it. But because it's modern Hollywood, they got to have a girl boss. They got to have.
She did get expanded upon later, though. She did become a semi-major lore character in the later Warcraft in WoW.
In Warcraft 1 and Warcraft 2. That was not Garona. Like all that expansion shit came with modern audiences. The people that made original WoW did not make Garona this like puffed up thing or whatever. All it was an assassin that got in close because she has half human or whatever, and they're like, yeah, sure, and it's literally in like a throwaway line in a briefing before one of your missions in Warcraft.
Yeah,
that's
it. Okay. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. But it's this movie is doing a juggling act in that it's big budget, it's trying to appease the fans, and so it's doing all the autism checklists for us. But then also like for Kay, who's on the outside looking in, it's like it's still going to be a cohesive movie. Like you can't see the entire start point A to point B destination and all this stuff. So it needs to also work as a movie. And it's just it makes me forever mad that it still failed because people don't understand how orcs can be good. And yeah, I know it's surprising that I'm the one that is defending a different race, but it's just like I don't get how people
orcs lives matter.
Yeah, orcs lives matter to me, god damn it. So
I wish they would have kept the Horde being evil. Like I understand Thrall was a sympathetic,
I'm more of a Horde anti-hero. That's the camp I'm in. Horde anti-heroes.
Thrall was your first window into the Horde being like redeemable, because he came after the Necrolites. He came after all the fell crap. He was literally born in a slave camp.
He's Moses. Thrall is Moses.
So the whole like Horde being good is kind of it's like after the second game, like you already have 2 games that establish that these are merciless killing machines, and I don't mind that, but like the fact that they like retroactively go back in and they're like, well, actually it's this and this and this, and it's like, why can't you just make them good in their minds, but evil in, it's like the mustachioed failed artist in Austria that started World War II. Okay. Those people thought he was a good guy. Otherwise they wouldn't have backed him.
I'm going to disagree with you there, because if you're doing a MMO thing, what I want is you decide who's good and who's bad, because like the Alliance does some really messed up stuff. Like they basically left the High Elves out in the dry, because like the Kel'Thas campaign, he showed up and to help, and they imprisoned him. And the Night Elves, they're isolationist bastards. They're like, I think the Night Elves are supposed to be like an allegory for Japan or something. I can't remember.
But the moral ambiguity, like the gray area, the Marxist deconstructionism, like it gets real tiring. Like, can't you just have good and evil again? Like, the Lord of the Rings works because you don't need to over-explain why the orcs are good or why they're bad.
I don't think everything is a Marxist deconstruction. That's where
deconstructionism comes from, though.
I don't see it as deconstructionism, because I actually do enjoy gray morality. The problem is a lot of these people aren't doing gray morality. They're doing it in name only.
The thing with Lord of the Rings, though, is that it is very cut and dry. It's very much a good versus evil story.
Yeah.
Whereas like Warcraft comes across to me as more like you can side with either side. It's like you're the hero of your own story, regardless.
Yeah.
So
I thought
they did that really well in this movie, because I'm like, oh, like it makes sense that they feel this way. Like you felt emotional for both sides, and it was almost like
just like not
sucking to
everything.
See either side have people die in it.
And that's kind of where I'm at. Is not everything, just like not everything needs to be gray morality. Not everything needs to be black and white. If you want black and white, go Lord of the Rings. If you want like gray morality,
if you played the original Warcraft games, you played the bad guys on the Horde. Like, it was fun being the bad guys. There was literally one of the Warcraft 2 best endings was when you were playing on the Horde and you kick the shit out of Lordaeron, and there's this pussy little king going, guards! And then, and they just kick the doors in and fuck this dude up. And it's like, yeah! And he's standing over like this dead Alliance knight. And he's all like, and the Horde wins. And it just shows like, the orcs like erecting they literally have skulls on their banners. These are not the acts of good people.
Okay,
that's what makes it great.
Here's my rejoinder. What is the most iconic character in Warcraft? What is the most iconic story? I'm going to answer for you. Arthas, okay? Arthas is a tale of a man who turns evil by doing what he thinks is right. The whole purge of Lordaeron is he thinks the entire city is gone. It's an evil act, but he thinks he's doing what is right. People can empathize with it. People empathize with Arthas' fall. That is why Arthas is the marquee character of Warcraft.
But he's not an Alliance anymore. He's like, his fall from grace.
Well, he's still Alliance when he does the purge. He's still
and that's what that was the Anakin moment. That was and I killed.
He's literally an Anakin story. Yeah,
for me, Anakin, sure, he's Anakin Skywalker. Sure, that's fine.
I've always thought Arthas is literally the rise and fall of Darth Vader.
Sure.
It's great. It's great for that. But no, I'm definitely team like you need to set Warcraft apart, and it's just, again, this movie was doomed to fail, because if you did it where it was very cut and dry and the orcs are the bad guys and it's all told from the protagonist side of the Alliance instead of the dual split, which Warcraft's kind of been come to known for, people still would have complained, because they would have just thought it's derivative of Lord of the Rings, or they would have even been more confused because like, well, the orcs are bad, but now they're different. So then they tried doing the thing of, well, you can see both sides, and then people are still confused. But the thing is, I still feel like the orcs they can very easily be seen as bad and evil in this. Like, obviously, Duro Tan is not, because he's the one that's going hold up here. But it's I
mean, look at Orgrim Doomhammer. He literally betrays the Frostwolves, and then then even by the end, or Blackhand. I think Blackhand was done great here. We'll talk about that next.
Damn.
But the thing that I love that this movie does is that it shows that it's like, well, the orcs are bad if you're a human, but then the humans are, and it's like, really, the orcs are just looking for a new place to live, and so, but they're all conquest, war, and killing. So I do think they are bad, and if Gul'dan wasn't a factor, Durotan would be like fully on board of like going to this new place. He just didn't want to kill like women and children. He was like, I just want to kill their soldiers and take over. I don't want to kill like people that are like defenseless kind of thing.
Yeah, and I love that scene. I love that scene between Durotan and Blackhand, where he's got the kids, and at the end, Blackhand says, "Maybe we'll find a good fight somewhere." Like, I love Blackhand in this because even though he's doing the bidding of Gul'dan, he still yearns for the old ways. He would love to be honorable again. That's why I really love that moment where Blackhand's like, "Finish the fight," you know. Like Blackhand, it's small moments, but I love how they included the small moments of Blackhand.
If Gul'dan didn't exist,
sorry, go on.
Well,
no, we're all passionate.
So if Gul'dan didn't exist, okay, and there was no avatar of Sargeras in there and the whole corruption of the Fel and all that stuff, then Draenor wouldn't be a shitty desert, because these people were compelled by the Fel energies, by basically a dark messiah.
Yeah, the demon blood of Manaroth.
To destroy their own planet. And the whole world gate and all that stuff going into Azeroth was because of these gods' like insatiable hunger for destruction, the Fel energy. So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, sure, if the the greenskins never existed, because orcs aren't naturally green. They're what we see here. They're more of the tan whatever. And they're actually they're the ferals too of Draenor. They're the inferiors, like they're the barbarians. The real people of Draenor were the Draenei, who are basically
that's wrong. That's wrong.
No, they came to that planet. They're aliens and everything. No, it's not wrong. It's correct.
The orcs were native to the orcs were native to
I'm trying to explain this. This. They were the monkeys that basically came before the superior race came to bring them civilization, because they had nothing. And they basically, once the Sargeras Fel corruption or whatever got in, and then the voodoo shamans or whatever got their shit together and started, they basically wiped out an entire planet. Like, if the Draenei were allowed to persist, it would look like the Jetsons. It would look like some future paradise, because they show like inklings of that with the crashed ship in Azeroth.
Right. Or even honestly, just look at Warlords of Draenor. Like,
so in the context of the film, I do think that if your desire is to have like evil for the sake of being evil, it actually is there. And so this is, again, what I always loved about Warcraft is that you can kind of see, not necessarily agree with every side, but you can see the perspective of every side. So I don't think the orcs are the good guys in this, because they're about war and conquest, and they're killing innocent people and invading their home. Like, that you should get them out of there and take their coats. 100% if you're an Alliance guy. But the thing is, there is the evil there, and I explained this to Kay, and I went on an autistic rant when we were watching the movie. The thing is that they put it behind a curtain, because to the normie audience, it's like, this is going to overload your brain if you do this. So they show the Fel and the drinking the Fel, and the Fel's bad, but the movie never says that, it's actually demons' blood and it's corrupting them. The demons and everything that Gul'dan is actually working for, because Gul'dan is a lying son of a bitch. He's not on the orc side. He's working for the demons and everything. That's your evil. And it's alluded to, and it's there, but it's not, unlike for the people that play the games, it's not like very clear.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem, is this movie makes it seem like Gul'dan just like infused with Fel. There's no mention of the blood. I know that, like,
but imagine the normie audience if suddenly there's a sorry,
don't they drink it at some point or something? Like, they're
they
drinking something, right?
all you know is that green bad. You don't know that it's actually a big four-legged demon getting milked and you're drinking his blood. Maybe
Luke Skywalker, where are you?
But the thing is, if you put that in, it would have overloaded the brain of the normie audience, and so they were like, it's there. It's not like we're retconning.
Yeah, imagine them even like
he's behind a big curtain. You don't have to see him yet. You have to drip feed it, and this is why it's so frustrating.
Yeah, the whole Burning Legion stuff. It's in the story, because because I guarantee you, like, Medivh kind of turning into Sargeras, that was kind of the hint of it. But like anybody who didn't play World of Warcraft would not get that reference. So, and I do think them not including the Burning Legion was probably a good idea. I realize I'm just doing this, whatever.
But they could
Like, it
have
would have been too much.
elaborated on the further
Yeah,
sequels, and that's why this movie frustrates me so much. Is it really feels like a blueprint? It feels like this could be a 6 to 9 movie saga. Here is just the jump start of it. And so I told this all to Kay, and I actually paused the movie when Gul'dan is introducing the Fel and everything, and I'm like,
This
here,
needs
I'm
to be
gonna
an 8-episode Netflix series. That's what it needs to be.
preferably
Like,
not
this
done by
is-
Netflix, but yeah, it's I showed her the Warlords of Draenor cinematic because I'm like, look, this is the same time, but they're time traveling, and Garrosh is telling his dad, don't drink that, they're milking a demon, you don't want to drink demon cum.
Yeah.
And so but it's like you see it all
It's
there,
blood.
right? Because the curtain is pulled, and so you see it's Manaroth, right? I think that's the demon they're drinking blood of. But yeah, so but from the perspective for a film, you are only seeing the perspective of the protagonist, and in this scene, the protagonists are the orcs, and so they don't know. They're just like, okay, green makes strong. Sure. So it would be so overwhelming to like a general audience that on a movie that's supposed to be a big budget action adventure film to be like, yeah, you're actually drinking this big 4-legged demon's blood and all this stuff, and it's all subversive, and Gul'dan is backstabbing everybody working for this, and aliens crash landing. It's all there. It doesn't retcon anything. It's just it was baby steps. This cinematic, yes, there you go. This is peak. This was like my last favorite cinematic.
You should show the one where Grom Hellstream dies in bed.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Grom's a king. I love him.
Here's Grom.
And Grom was in deleted scenes for the film, but it really didn't add much, so they cut him out.
That's Gul'dan.
Your destiny.
Yeah, that's him.
And Gul'dan's like 1-to-1 with how he looks in the film. Like, you can tell it's him.
And what? Gul'dan. Must we
This still
give
looks amazing, by the way.
return
So just the fact that he is questioning him is like the piercing of the veil here.
Yeah.
So he's not supposed to do this. He's supposed to go, okay, this is going to make me stronger. And that's what you see in the film. But with the power of Garrosh's hindsight, obviously.
reject this gift.
So when you're watching
Literally, the
Warcraft-
curtain.
Literally a curtain! Exactly!
There's Manaroth.
So
Yeah.
he's there. You can say Manaroth is there throughout the events of the Warcraft movie.
But yeah,
Yeah. Well, he
literally a
explains
curtain.
it- No, he explains it better in the Death of Grom Hellscream cinematic, where he's like, "You owe everything, you misbegotten race." Like he basically, it explains that like the whole Hellscream, like the whole like blood haze and all that stuff is because they drank the blood of Manaroth.
Yeah.
And the other thing to note is, for context, is Grom at this point is basically like a recovering heroin addict, to where he stopped. Like, I think you need to like drink it repeatedly or something. So like he's kind of prone to like bouts of like blood fury or whatever. But he's basically a recovering heroin addict at this point in the story. I just want to put that context.
Well,
Warcraft
it's
is
their
full of drug
MacGuffin for explaining the evil orcs.
He's having a bad hair day. Oh my god. Yeah, this is like 20. Like, look how old this is, and it still looks pretty decent.
2002, 2003.
So predictable. I knew you would come.
I love that there's actually a monument in World of Warcraft
And
to this battle.
I see you brought the mighty Hellscream.
Better reveal.
His blood is mine,
There's Thrall.
as is your whole misbegotten race.
And there's Ogrim's hammer. There's a Doom hammer.
Here's the Hellscream.
No, that's Thrall.
No, watch when the Hellscream does it. Ding!
Did nothing. It
Got
has
his
no
Diablo, breastplate.
effect. But you want to know my favorite orc story in World of Warcraft? Dronosh Sourfang.
Well, Sourfang's the old veteran.
No. The one who in the War of the Ancients, where he gets him and some other people get transported the War of the Ancients, and he basically jumps through the portal, fends off 10,000 demons. Sargeras himself has to come in and defeat him, and still he was able to wound Sargeras before dying. The orcest orc to ever orc.
Yeah, well, this was their
James. You're familiar with that story, right? The axe of the axe of Sourfang.
When was this? Which I was in and out of World of Warcraft when I got fatigue. Is it in World of Warcraft?
It was in one of the fluff novels.
Okay.
Oh
yeah, I think you got me beat in this one. It's
all
like
it was like the War of the Ancients novel, because like they had
yeah, full disclosure, I used to love Warcraft and Blizzard. Man, I used to spend so much time just watching lore videos on YouTube of all the different characters, but since
you seen the AI ones?
No, because I have, again, like, as soon as they banned me in vanilla, I said, fuck you, I'm out. And I haven't paid attention to anything since. And I've just gone on to greener pastures. But I used to be such a big fan, and now it's a blur. I forget things if it's a week old.
I used to watch a lot of the I used to watch a lot of the lore videos. Like WoW, there used to be a lot of really good WoW tubers back in the 2010s.
Oh yeah.
What sucks is there's people who are making like $100,000 a year that work for Blizzard, that their sole job is to do this shit, and they're getting out autistic by their fans. Like,
oh yeah,
that's so like, as somebody that worked in that industry and was basically not good enough to ever get into the senior levels or whatever, it's so demoralizing to watch these worthless people collect paychecks, and then this red shirt nerd walks in front of everybody. He's not getting paid, and he's like, "How come this dwarf isn't here?" And they're like, "Well, we don't know." It's like, dude, you have people that you pay to know this.
Yeah, this is always the problem with the industry, is that the wrong people move up, and all the actual passionate people just kind of get spit on. And
I mean, what is it? What is that one principle that someone will get promoted until they're at a level to where they can't function anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at this kid. This kid isn't getting paid. He's a fan. He should
literally like this kid would probably got beat up by the people on the table.
Hello. I just finished reading The Shattering yesterday, and I noticed something. It said that Falstad Wildhammer was going to be on the Council of Three Hammers, but in the beta it's Kurdrin Wildhammer, and Falstad is not in the game at all. What happened to him?
Look at the look on Metson's face.
From Day of the Dragon? No?
No, he survived, and in fact, he was the leader of Airy Peak in Vanilla WoW through Wrath of the Lich King.
Right, of course. Right.
God damn.
Yeah, Alex, what's up with that?
That is an embarrassment right there.
Thanks for pointing that out. We're going to get that fixed.
We're going to get that fixed. You have an entire team of lore masters.
Look at his face. Look at his smug bitch face.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna so celebrate when Blizzard's fucking done. I really just sell your old games to fucking GOG for preservation purposes. I want you done.
I'm sorry. Speaking of red shirt, I have to
I love the fact that wondering, is this an out of season April Fool's joke?
No, it's a fully fledged Diablo experience on mobile, which everybody will get to play, and hopefully.
So if I ever go to BlizzCon, if they bring it back, wear a red shirt. Got it.
I just love how even the Odyssey's April Fools, he's wearing a red shirt. Like, I just wonder, like, just cosmic or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, Shane, how you doing?
Shane Bentley, everybody. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I don't know. It's so sad because all the companies that I used to love and hold in such high regard, I hate all of them now. I used to consider Blizzard. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't even mean to do that, but it's so true. They all go down in flames. Feels great. I just, oh god, I love that, man. But it's just Blizzard. I said this to Kay. It's like Blizzard, in my opinion, was the kings of PC gaming for well over a decade, maybe 15 years. That was Blizzard and PC games. That was the company you went to. You went to Nintendo for your Nintendo games. You had Sega, you had PlayStation, and it's like, well, PC is a PC. What do you play there? Well, you play Blizzard. You can only get a Blizzard experience on a PC. Also, there was other ones like, id Software and all that stuff, but it was like really,
yeah, and like a Blizzard game
no.
would sometimes come to consoles. Like you got Warcraft 2, Diablo, StarCraft,
yeah, but if you wanted the optimal experience, it was on
like
the
this.
PC.
This is where it was, huge. And now they've they're just not the same company. They're a joke, and everyone treats them like a joke. And I don't think they will ever be able to recover. Diablo 4, I don't even consider it Diablo. It was done not even by Blizzard. It was done, I think it was done by the Coalition or something, if I remember correctly.
Oh wow.
And it's not a Blizzard game. It's just a Blizzard IP, and that could be their future. It's just like, we're not making games anymore. You make our games for us, and hopefully we'll turn a profit. And it's
the thing is,
your homework for us, nerds.
Pretty much.
Well, they did that with the StarCraft shooter that never came out. There was was it Guerrilla Games or some company that they never finished it, but like I got to see some of the pre or the alpha stuff, and it was by this third party they were just contracting out. And it's like they did that with a lot of shit, and then they just wasted money.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Well,
never got
the thing is, I know for StarCraft Ghost, it wasn't up to like Blizzard standards. Which,
well,
like,
neither was Warcraft Adventures. Now that wasn't up to snuff either. And it's like, guys, those were better games than the shit you're putting out now.
Oh, I know. Their bar is so low now.
The animation's actually not bad.
22 years have passed since Blackmore found the young orc.
I love that they got the same guy who would eventually do the intros to all the vanilla races. That was actually kind of nice.
3 great wars between the human alliance and the orcish invaders have laid waste to the once proud realms.
Yeah, I would love this. Warcraft point and click to kind of tell the story.
Yeah, you can find it online. You can find it online.
Now quiet down.
I gotta say, the animation looks pretty good, especially for the era.
Yeah.
Proper, very full throttle-esque point and click.
Yeah. All right, Nix, someone need you to ban on Twitch.
So.
Oh, you've got looks like a Russian bot.
Yeah, we got the Russians are invading.
You just you could steal my gimmick. It's dolphin porn. Fuck you. There you go.
Oh god.
That's what I always say.
And we are banned. Woohoo!
Thank you, Nix. Thank you.
No Spadanya.
But yeah, if I was in charge of Blizzard today, the way I would recoup some of my money and my reputation is actually following through and say, let's give our IPs, let's give our legacy stories, and let's introduce them to a new audience by going into film. It's working for Sega super well right now. Nintendo knows it, and these stories are incredible, absolutely incredible.
Imagine a Overwatch. Like, remember when that first Overwatch?
Yeah, the museum. Yeah,
that was like Pixar level. Imagine a full movie done like that.
That's what they should be doing.
All of their games have always had these incredible worlds. They've always been about the world building and like the characters in those worlds. And it's just such a shame that they've completely fallen. I can't get over the fact that I honestly think StarCraft could be like a Firefly, Star Wars rivaling like cinema experience. And we'll never get it.
Well, the thing is, to me, StarCraft is more Starship Troopers. Like that's the vibe that I get.
Yeah, but it's just like if you tell it from the Jim Raynor perspective, you really kind of add in that country. Yeah, because he's such a good, relatable character, and it's
so the problem is if they make a StarCraft, it's like, all right, we're gonna make this entirely about Kerrigan and Ghost. Also, they're in love with each other. We're doing a lesbian thing here with this, and just go along with it.
Well, that's the problem. Companies are learning this, but a lot of people in the West are not. So they would need to absolutely do it proper. Look at the Sonic movie. They're not, if anything, the Sonic movie was making fun of that type of identity politics. And that's what you could do. And personally, I don't think any of it belongs in these movies because they all take place either in the far past or the far future. Like it's got no place to either poke jabs at identity politics or lean into it. In terms
like they
kind
of had Lothar and Garona had that romance. I think it was fine for what they included. I think it was like understated to a degree.
I need me some of the Garusi. That's totally fine. Yeah, need that Garusi.
Okay, if I ever see a picture of Melee as Garona, I'm going to cringe because I know what I'm doing.
Why would that exist? What?
Okay, I am going to make you be a rogue orc when we finally play World of Warcraft together. No reasons. Need that Garusi.
I mean, as long as you don't force Melee to dress up as Mercy and take a really awkward picture, I think we're good.
Hey, heroes never die.
Was anyone really complaining about that picture of her though? She looked good in the outfit.
Wait, who
in the what now?
Are you talking about what's her face? Amber Heard? Didn't Elon dress her up as Mercy?
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's what I thought you were referring to. I don't know.
It is what I'm referring to.
I totally forgot about that.
Right.
Man, Elon won in that regard.
Only someone with Elon's money could get Amber Heard to do that.
That was amazing.
You could just put it at to get Amber Heard. That's all you could have left it at.
Could Elon have fixed her? Maybe. You know, he passed her over to Johnny Depp, and that didn't work out. But yeah,
okay.
I don't know. You keep her. Maybe the mistake was having her dress as Mercy. Maybe if he dressed her up as Diva, things would have been better.
No, isn't Diva like a
nerf this in the bedroom? There you go.
Oh no, you buff it. You gotta buff it.
Oh,
you gotta buff it.
Based on her bedroom activities, maybe Winston was more of a good cosplay for her.
The brown banana left behind.
Yeah.
Well, see
bananas everywhere.
See the problem with having Amber Heard on your team is she has a propensity to shit the bed.
But why are you thinking about that when you see this photo? You know what I mean? She looks good. Just
maybe it's the German in me, but I can get past that.
To Johnny Depp overshadows anything else about her.
Also, she looks really uncomfortable. Like, you can tell she does not want to do this. And
that adds to it.
As much as a piece of shit as I know she is, seeing her face, I can't help but feel empathy. Like I feel bad for her.
Why? Why do you feel empathy for her? It's an outfit. Like,
here's the thing: if you don't put Amber Heard in her place, she will destroy you.
I mean,
have empathy for her.
Look at her face.
I think she's just confused at what she's like, what character it is. Like, that's all it is. I don't think she's like, I don't want to dress sexy. I think it's more like, what is this nerd shit?
Bring out the shot.
She's like a snow leopard. If you don't keep her distracted, she will kill you. You gotta take your keys and jingle.
Melee, why are you with them? Why are you with this guy?
Because
exactly what just happened. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So literally, that's how it keeps you entertained. He just jangles the keys.
Bad Amber Heard. Bad Amber Heard.
Look at this. It's a necklace. It's my Horde necklace. There you go, jingly jingly, and then you just keep him distracted.
Oh my god. So the key. So James. So tell me this. The key to a successful relationship. It's to constantly be dangling keys in front of their
confusion. The key is confusion. Absolutely. Yeah. You just keep them on their heels. Look, I have a little baby Orgrim Doomhammer hammer. You didn't expect this, did you? See, and now they'll stay with you.
Oh, Kerrigan gonna get a Jeep Wrangler lease. No, Kerrigan's gonna get a Subaru Outback lease. That's what she's gonna do.
She's gonna be part of a roller derby team.
Oh my god.
There you go.
Kerrigan is gonna cut her hair pixie. And she's gonna join the Curves gym.
Oh God!
Wait,
so she's the butch one?
I need to look these.
Chat, we need a smasher pass on Kerrigan. And personally, I think she is way better. She's a bitch when she's human.
Sarah Kerrigan?
Yeah, she's a bitch when she's human. I'll take Zerg Kerrigan any day. You get so many
smash.
And
dude, Zerg Kerrigan, you ever see the statue? Like, she's got veiny boobs.
yeah, there we
Melee.
go.
Wood.
Smash, easy.
Look at that. Yeah.
Oh, that's way better than the photos I'm seeing over here.
Oh,
pass. That's not
Smash.
Nancy Kerrigan.
Smash.
No, I already said no. No human Kerrigan, only Zerg Kerrigan. And if you have sex with alien Kerrigan, it's like fucking an entire race because they're all hive mind.
No, James.
Orgy every time.
James, I don't think you get the joke when I say smash.
That's Nancy Kerrigan's knee.
Why?
No,
Why?
I did not.
1994, baby, or 96.
I would.
There you go. Yeah, hell yeah.
See,
Give me those
dude,
tentacles, baby.
Yeah, it's like it's gross. It's like endless crab legs bucket for her
I am
hair.
sickened but curious. It honestly, like, it
I
fixes
have the weirdest boner right now.
her
She kind of looks like
personality.
Shodan, honestly.
Her personality is insufferable
Look
when
at you,
she's a
Hacker.
human. Like, she's so much better as the Queen of Blades. Also, Kay, you should be a fan of Kerrigan because Dwight cosplayed as her.
Wasn't she white in the original versions?
She's white here too. She just has the tendril hair.
Yeah, it's her
No, but
Zerg
she's black in
DNA
this.
darkened her up.
No, she's
How is
she's
she
still
black?
White. She's still white, dude. She just
Like
has
Joe
the
Biden
tendril hair.
says,
How does that make
if
her
you
black?
ain't black, you ain't a Zerg.
No, she basically looks like a redheaded Nova, in her original human form.
100%.
And then when they Zerg turned her into the Queen of Blades, she got the gross, endless crab legs hair.
This is Nova from.
She looks just like Nova, but she's got red hair.
So
I think they even
Melee
used the same model.
When we were talking about StarCraft Ghost, Nova was actually supposed to be the protagonist of StarCraft Ghost, and then after it got shit canned, they brought her over to StarCraft 2.
Is she the one that's in that Heroes of the Storm game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, that's her.
Yeah, I understand.
She has the Vivian James skin that made everyone mad back in the day.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I know who she is. Yeah.
Yeah,
And we
like,
put her
that's
in one of her intros as well. Yeah, I know who she is.
That's right. Yeah, I told Kay to include the kiss right there that you got on screen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, that's the thing with StarCraft is they have cool female characters.
Absolutely.
Jaina Proudmoore is not one of them. I'm just gonna say it. I do not like Jaina.
That
Like,
bitch is not a ride or die. I'm sorry, Arthas. I can't watch you do this. Then leave. I will get undead bitches. Fuck you.
Like I will do anything for my Banshee Queen, but Jaina can go fuck off.
What's
Yeah.
the vibe on
all of their characters.
Sylvanas? I think she looks cool.
Well, I mean,
Sylvanas.
as a Forsaken, the thing that's great about Sylvanas, well, I mean, she is distracted because she's so focused on.
Let me show you
reproducing.
every thought. Like, this is what every thought cosplays when, like, oh, I want to do a Warcraft cosplay. I'm
White
gonna do
Mane
Sally
is a
White.
queen.
Well,
I love her.
Sadly, though, the writers at Blizzard, though, the story of Kerrigan there is the same story as Sylvanas. It's the same story as Diablo from Diablo 3.
Mhm.
Like, it's the same damn villain. Like, and they're like, oh, but she's just misunderstood. Oh, she's really the good guy.
Just
Like,
like
oh.
Garrosh is a king that puts her in her place in one of the best WoW cinematics ever. Well, it's not even cinematic.
And then also we have our favorite dragon lady.
Our
Alex
scaly
Garland.
representation here.
Yeah,
Look,
she's
it's
cool.
like I'm not a furry. I
Dude,
only
you know
wear
who that
sleeves in
is?
human form.
You know who that is? That's straight out of Dragonlance. If you've ever heard of Takesis, the Dark Queen from Dragonlance, that's literally the same exact character design. Like, the artist probably used her as a art reference.
And then here's a newer character. Here's Lillian Voss.
Yeah.
Another one.
Best thing about those Forsaken girls, they can't get knocked up. No, they can't.
So here's Kalia Menethil, Arthas' sister. She is a light forged undead. So yeah, basically she was brought back with the light. So she's technically Forsaken, but
So she gets to be prettier. Okay.
Yeah.
Special
Yeah, they just wanted to
treatment.
sexify the undead.
God
Because in
damn.
China, they can't show exposed bones.
Unless you're a banshee, you don't get to be sexy. God damn. This is terrible.
And they did actually
That's a
bring
shoe.
back. They did
Smash.
actually bring back Illyria. Illyria Windrunner, and they basically they put her, they infuse her with the void.
Oh, I recognize this chick. Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, that's Sylvanas' sister.
It looks just like Sylvanas, really.
I mean, it's the sister.
Yeah,
it's the same model.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think sure.
No
Oh, yeah, they also
Tyrande
have
simping. We're not going to say hush now, Tyrande. None of that. There you go.
Who's
Did
the
they
other
still
one,
did they censor hush now, Tyrande? When did that line happen? Was it Warcraft 3 that Malfurion says hush now, Tyrande? And I think they took it out or something.
They gave her a power up in BFA.
What the fuck? That's what she's supposed to look
that
like.
first photo was not flattering at all.
Yeah, she's supposed to look like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, they got to nun her up too, like her outfit.
Yeah, they made her a night warrior. They did this.
They nunned up all of the night elves, and it's like you just took away the whole redeeming. Like, I don't want to look at like a purple chick in like a pair of like glasses and like a I don't know what the hell outfit they put her in.
Now they deserve to get their tree burnt down.
Yeah.
Also, here's another race. They have Vulpera.
Oh, great.
Oh, God, the furries.
Yeah.
Why are we looking at midget furries?
It checks off 2 boxes of fetishes. That's why.
Well, they have that matrix. Remember the diversity matrix? For the
that's perfect for it. There you go.
So they also added High Mountain Tauren, which they're just Tauren, both moose antlers.
That I remember these. Yeah,
that's kind of funny, like Canadian Minotaurs.
He's like, hey, let's go to Timmy's, eh?
It really is. Jesus, it's so stupid.
All right, and then we got the Nightborn.
The crack addicts. Yeah, these guys.
So it's just is it basically a night elf that has the blood elf's curse?
It looks like the type of night elves that you see,
and they added like this is like you want to talk about fur bait. These are the Drakir, and these are the newest race.
My God.
This is fur bait. This is literally fucking fur bait right here.
They ran well. That's what happens in all fantasy games, dude. They run out of interesting races, so they just start throwing the furry shit. They're like, what animal can we mix together with a anthropomorphic thing or whatever?
Yeah, in BFA they added allied races, which is just like, oh, we need to add like whatever. Let's see here.
God, I'm glad I haven't played this one.
Yeah, I'm never going back. Fuck.
Urge to kill.
So they added Dark Iron Dwarves to the game.
That's just racist.
Yeah, those were enemies. How are they playable now? Like that was an enemy faction. And
they had a change.
And then also speaking of furries,
why are these there? Oh my God!
A woo.
Worgans.
What is that? It's a wolf with tits.
And not only that. But like, so the funny part is the aesthetic for their like starting zone is like kind of like 18th century Gothic. So that's all like, basically like Lordaeron by gaslight.
Yes.
And they're ahead of their time. It looks like a more modern, because like Warcraft's supposed to be like medieval. So like you have these like Dickensian like werewolf people or whatever. And then they're the ones that are supposed to have been locked away for like 20 years. So it's like they've been kept from the population and they're like 100 years advanced. These are the Pandorans.
These look like diversity hires.
This was the first time. This was the first time I really quit in WoW, and I was like, I'm out. And it's like, I know there was a panda in Warcraft 3. I didn't like it then either, and now I have to see them constantly. You're giving me panda fatigue. I'm good.
Okay. Drake,
but when the Pandorans became like a part of World of Warcraft, I genuinely, oh my God, I remember it like it was yesterday. We started making fun of my younger brother and asking him when he was going to play as one, because our nickname for him growing up, ever since the Kung Fu Panda movie came out, was Kung Fu Panda.
By the way, see, there were so many comparisons with Kung Fu Panda, because not only did they introduce Pandorans, they introduced the monk class, so you had literally Kung Fu Panda.
But not only that, but I don't know how that even got in.
But real quick, for Melee K, would you? Female
Very nice, they're cool. I like them.
They're goat people. They're goat girls.
Well, they're
they look cool.
I need a hoof job.
The one that really me out was the freaking werewolf with tits and the panda. And the midget.
Well,
the midget was weird.
Well,
The rest are fine.
Here's a weird thing about the Pandarans, okay? I don't know how they got in, because when Blizzard was, was cradling the sack to get all that money from China, they were given this big list of demands from the CCP of like what they can't do with their game. Like, if you ever seen the Chinese version of World of Warcraft, when your character dies in the American or in the rest of the world version, when you respawn, there's a skeleton. But when in China, it turns into an... Okay, well, I guess...
All right, Chris, can't talk anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, finish what you're saying. Finish what you're saying.
No, never mind. Like, apparently, this is more important. So
no, Chris. He's getting betrayed again. It's now like Ubisoft all over.
Okay, Chris, finish it. Finish it.
Do you know about the bread? Chris, do you know about the bread in China, the Chinese version? There's a great video on the differences between World of Warcraft China and World of Warcraft America. And because there's so many like zombies and skeletons and stuff like that, there is a dungeon that's riddled with skeletons and zombies and shit in vanilla. If you go to it, it looks like a bakery in the Chinese version. And there's one of the bosses. Yeah, and one of the bosses literally throws like exploding skeletons at you, and it's literally bread explosions. It's amazing because they just went replace in China build all bones with bread, and it's the fucking funniest shit ever. And
all right, Nick, wait. I want to watch. Nick's got to head off real quick. I want to do this part real quick, and then we'll wrap Nick's up. Even this looks good still.
Well, I didn't play Miss of Pandaria, but it still had a beautiful cinematic. And the story was still decent too.
Comedy.
Garrosh was, brought in with this one, I believe.
Yeah, he went full villain mode in this expansion.
Hell yeah. No, you are not allowed to fight on these lands.
Well, they do the Pixar move where it's like that special thing where to do comedy, they do the still body. Skadoosh!
Miss Weaver.
I hate these pandas.
Yeah. Welcome
You
to
seem
me
so
back
out of
then.
place.
Yep.
Here's the
Look at
Pixar
how cool
moment.
this guy is with his like hammer, and he's like an orc and everything, and then you've got this panda. It feels goofy.
Look at the quirky ass fucking comedy here.
Yep.
Man,
Well, they
I would've been
soyified it.
We were pissed. I skipped
Yeah,
this
'cause-
and Cataclysm.
This was right after Cataclysm, where you're facing Deathwing and shit. So you go from, like, facing Deathwing, the Earth Warden, the fucking pandas.
Well, when this ends, I'll tell you the weird thing about. So, in one of the stipulations was, how you were saying the thing about the bread, because they can't show exposed bones or anything because it's disrespectful to the dead and their ancestors and all that other weird shit. Well, the other stipulation was you cannot depict any like representations of pandas receiving any kind of harm. So that made the whole Pandaran like race completely like because when Burning Crusade came out, okay, when they were developing Burning Crusade,
Yeah, they're gonna add Pandarans to it.
Yeah, if I could. Okay, so yeah, the Horde was supposed to have the Pandarans, and the Alliance was supposed to have the Blood Elves, because if you played Warcraft 3, the Blood Elves were on the Alliance side.
High Elves.
So So what happened was, first thing they noticed was they did a demographics search, and they looked at their populations of servers, and they found that the Chinese are the most vain and superficial people. Like Eastern Asians are superficial. Okay, they don't want to play monstrous, ugly things. So their population servers were like 99% Alliance, and they were all freaking night elves and humans and shit. Nobody played gnomes or dwarves. And then on the Horde side, nobody played anything because they're all freaking ugly. They're all ugly monster things. So what they did was like, shit, how are we going to rebalance these server populations? Oh, well, we'll entice the East Asians to play on the Horde side by putting the Blood Elves on the Horde side.
I mean, it worked also worked for the West too, because if you look at like race statistics on the Horde side, it's like 60% of the Horde is Blood Elves. People playing them.
Yeah, so over in Asia though, it's like 90% Blood Elves and 10% Night Elves. But
Nyx has to go. So Nyx, anything you want to say before we go, and then we'll get back to Chris?
No, nothing important.
Also, I say, ding dong, the Buttery's dead, which bitch, look at Buttery's dead.
Well, apparently she gets banned a lot from Twitter and then comes right back, so I don't know how long this is going to last, but I find it very funny that she's calling for censorship and then gets censored and then kind of just
ironic.
What the hell?
Well, Nyx,
why
we
are we
celebrating
tomorrow? Someone getting banned off a platform though? Like I don't like.
I'm not. I just thought it was noteworthy.
You and your pesky.
It was ironic.
How dare you point out
even
my
if
flaws?
I don't like someone, I would never celebrate them losing their platform.
How dare
you're not evil?
How dare you point out my flaws, Melee? How dare
saying.
you point out the flaws of my logic?
But like,
dare you not tap dance on graves? Like what the hell?
I think it's kind of telling though that she's like, oh, we should censor this, this, and this, and then get censored, and then not like throw the fit, but it's like obviously very salty about it. Must be all the butter cheats.
I think there's a difference between recognizing the irony and celebrating. Maybe I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah.
But Nyx, we will see you tomorrow for the video game. We're going to finish up Breath of the Wild. But thank you.
All right, take care, everyone.
Yep.
Peace out, girl.
Nice meet you.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry for interrupting you, Chris. Nyx had to go. I just wanted to let her do her thing. Oh, but yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, I'd love to play World of Warcraft with you guys sometime.
Yeah, I like I said, I will never give them money again, but I am more in vein of being interested in what you do, which is yeah. And there was another. I'm trying to remember what the other one.
Ascension. There's a bunch of like popular.
Yeah, I think it was Ascension. There was one that was just straight up vanilla that I was eyeing because Kay has never got to play World of Warcraft, and I would just love to see her experience it as it was. And so
yeah, because Turtle WoW is Classic Plus because they have goblins on. You can actually play as goblins.
Cool. Yeah,
and they like you can actually go to like a vanilla version of Gilneas. Like they have Hyjal, like all the extra stuff they have done. It's like the idea is, what if Blizzard had just kept updating instead of doing expansions?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I really like those are the two, and yeah, so I think it is Ascension. I have it bookmarked somewhere, but
Ascension is like a picture. It's like a kind of a unique version. But if you guys do a private server, I'll play with you guys. I'll gladly hop on.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect us to get fully dedicated into it because I mean, this was one of the reasons I stopped playing WoW. Is it's like it's
imagine if you get a guild going.
Oh, that would be good, but that would be the whole channel, and so I like playing a whole variety of games. The only time I'm a fan of diversity is with gaming. But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing like a few streams just to be like, here on the channel, this is World of Warcraft. I used to love it. It's dead now. Take a look at it. It was beautiful. And also just Kay being able to experience it as it was intended back in the day would be awesome. I'm going to force Kay as well just to play Warcraft 3 one of these days. And we might have to sail the Goblin Seas, go to Booty Bay, if you will.
Booty Bay.
Time is money, friends. So we might.
Time is money, friends.
Exactly.
Also, I love how the goblins have like a Jewish accent in that game.
I'm just old Warcraft is pretty base.
Yeah, I feel a little personally attacked.
So Chris, as my own personal penance, can you share your screen and show your shit while I go to my office?
Oh shit.
We get to see the goods on the comic here. I'm excited.
Yeah, he's showing the goods. He's popping it open and showing the goods.
Is this why you have to go to your office? Is it too exciting and tantalizing for you to witness? Is this like, oh yeah, there you go.
I
wasn't gonna make it that obvious, but you know,
James, if you're a fan of the Blood Elves, you're really gonna like what you're about to see here.
I'm excited. Let's do it up. Whoa.
Yeah. So this is my graphic novel series. It started as a tabletop role playing game that I was too poor or cheap. You know, you'll be the judge. When I was a kid back in the 90s, to get all the Dungeons and Dragons books, so I started making my own tabletop role playing game. And the reason why I did that was because in my high school, and basically my high school treated us like we were, I don't know, prisoners. They said that if you didn't have 140 hours of community service, you didn't graduate that year. So I went to the library in my hometown, and the librarian said, look, if you can babysit these kids, use them as your guinea pigs to little beta test your little role-playing game thing, I'll give you all the community service hours you need. So that's what 4 years of having a bunch of 10-year-olds tell me that I'm a shit game designer and my game's gay and retarded and all that stuff. Having them tell me all that, we ended up chronicling all of the adventures. And before Google and all this stuff, all the books that I had available to me were all the different mythologies, folklore, like the Wolsung saga, the Kalevala, the Mabinogi, which is the Welsh myths, where that's kind of where I got some of these the story ideas from. And it's called Infinitale and Chronicles because it's the chronicled adventures. We have one book out right now. The first book, Second Genesis. It was launched back in 2020.
What about Second Genesis?
Yes, this is Second Genesis. This
Echo got
basically. Basically, you can flip through and read like what is it? I think it's like the first 15 pages or so. But it talks about how it's this Fey world, this world of on this continent, on this alien world called Foithla.
All right,
and it's these elven people, and they've lived amongst their gods in this weird paradise where. They never age. Everything is perfect. They're pretty people with no problems. And the only thing is they don't reproduce. They've never had kids. They were these eternal beings. Why would eternal beings ever need to reproduce? You know. So one day, one of our main protagonists, this queen of one of these sovereignties, ends up getting pregnant. And they're like, "What the hell? We don't know what the hell we're doing. There's a baby. What's going on?" Well, there's this thing, if you've ever seen the film Logan's Run or read the book, the whole well, you remember the whole what do they call it? What the hell is it called?
It's like a kill switch, pretty much. Like you gotta sacrifice yourself. You're referring to all that. Once you hit 30, you're done.
Yeah, so they have this tithe to these gods that walk among them, these giants called the Fovra, who they basically say every moon harvest, we don't know what the time duration is because this is not Earth, so the kind of the increments of time pass by differently. Every time the moon goes through its full phase, like a lottery is drawn, and they draw these names, and these mainly males get sacrificed because this is a matriarchal society. The males get sacrificed, and
it's so realistic. It's just like our world.
Well, so the queen says, I don't really want to kill my kid. Like, this is my kid. And she suddenly learns that everything that basically their perfect paradise that they've lived in has been a lie. And while she's experiencing basically almost like a coma, she's been sickened by this pregnancy. She kind of encounters this weird blue wisp thing that starts telling her that everything that she's ever known is actually a lie, and she ends up defying the gods essentially, and it kicks off this thing called the War of the Trees, where basically the entire world is now embroiled in this conflict of the religiously zealous people who are like Cypher from the Matrix, who are like, I know it's fake, but I like the taste of steak, versus the people who are like, wait a minute, this is all a lie. These aren't really gods. These giant bully. Like, what's the real story? What's going on? And they're killing us. So you've got these big conflicts or these factions being drawn up to fight these gods. And then while all this is going on, one of our heroes, her husband, who actually in her stead, goes out to this area based on what she'd been told in her dreams, goes to these ancient ruins and discovers what the true past is, and learns that they were these wielders of ancient magic and all this stuff. And they're like, what the hell's magic? I've never heard of this crap. And it's like, yes, you had the power of the gods, but you've since lost it. And he's started tampering in it, and all sorts of shit starts happening while he messes up practicing this stuff. And he starts to see things that he's not supposed to. He starts to peer behind the curtain, and he learns that the material world is only one of the realities out there that exist, and that these gods that have been screwing around with them are kind of sitting behind a curtain in another reality.
And where can people find this?
So currently, you can go to InfiniteTaleChronicles.com to get the free preview chapters and learn more. Like, I've got all sorts of cool lore stuff. If you want to learn more about the world of Infinite Tale Chronicles.
Oh, it looks great.
Or thanks. And you can also head on over to our pre-launch page for Infinite Tale Chronicles: The War of the Trees Book 2. We got a nice little trailer. And if you sign up for the mailing list, we'll give you a nice little...
Orthodox has a question.
What's up? I can't see because I don't have two monitors.
He says, is a magic like Warhammer Fantasy, though, where it's dangerous?
Oh, yeah. So the magic in this world is actually... I based it off of some of the stuff that I learned about Hermetic lore, things about like... the Gnostics teachings, and it's almost like programming code in reality. You're like plunging your hands into the clay of creation and using your will to impose and change shape with it. And there's a whole syntax. There's these weird runic hand gestures and symbols, and you've got elements, and you've got all this cool stuff where you've got, instead of like in Dungeons and Dragons where you have the schools of magic and all that, all these magics are based on various elements, and how these elements are manipulated are through these cantrips. So you can actually define what they call stanzas, which are lines of syntax that release the magic. And because there's this, if you, again, going off of the Gnostic teachings of the monad, there's this all-encompassing unknowable being that we're all a part of in this world, and it's our essence, and you have to basically spend your own essence. Like, essence cannot be destroyed, it can only be changed. So the more you invest into something, then the more change you can evoke, but that obviously creates chaos, and the dangers of that become more pronounced as the deeper and deeper you get into messing with that clay of creation. And one of our in our second book here, you can see kind of what happens when one of our heroes tries to.
All right,
he basically bought.
I got a question for you. What would happen if Shadow was in your world? Shadow the Hedgehog.
He would make love to a Latina elf girl.
I just love Latina Sonic. I can't believe that's canon now.
There would be a Grace Randolph likening him to a PDF file, and saying that he has an inappropriate relationship.
No,
with,
you don't.
I like my reality better.
You've invoked the forbidden name.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, just to finish up. So our second book is going to actually come in 3 versions. We have the standard edition, which is done by the team that did the first book. There's an alternate art edition, which is done by a completely different art team. So it's the same story, same book, just done by a completely different art team. You get a different view into that world. And then the third is a black and white, kind of like a trade paperback containing both books 1 and 2, but it's in a manga format. So it's got the Jumiko no Taisen, which is the War of the Trees in Japanese. All of the onomatopoeias in Japanese, but all the writing is in is English. So yeah,
no, it's super cool, man. Yeah, I had no idea, and the art is just absolutely gorgeous. It looks super high budget. So I wish you all the success in the world, and I think it deserves it. It just looks wonderful.
Thanks, man.
So good job, man.
And now you know why I say his comic is better than mine.
I wasn't insulting you. Don't worry.
I'm not even trying to insult me. I'm just stating
it's so
facts.
drastically different. Like yours is like superheroes, and his is like high fantasy. Like to me, it's such a different brain I'm in when I'm viewing both.
Yeah, absolutely.
His art, like the art, is so much better than mine. Like, I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad or jealous. Like seriously, if I was this mad about it, like Chris, if I was this mad about your stuff, would I allow you so much time to like pimp your shit on my podcast if I didn't love your work? Like seriously, I give him so much free promo time. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's worth it because it looks freaking great, man.
Exactly.
And,
it's worth it.
I think there's an audience out there for it, 100%. So I hope you
agree.
keep up with it. Yeah, I want to see more of this. Looks great.
Yeah, the cards are super cool too. I remember seeing those.
Yeah, we've got the hollow foil cards, which are kind of special conditions, like the join the mailing list, or this was free Twitter if you're a Twitter follower or X follower. And I DM'd you and asked you if you're interested, and you gave me your address. I'd send you out one of these. So we had those. This one was actually I don't know if you can see it, but we got Pau Rodricks, who is an artist working on Genuine Comics Perfect 10. One of his perks was, hey, let's you can do basically a commission of his work. So I got the black and white from Pau, and I said, you know what, I'm going to color it. So I did all the coloring. So I felt very proud, considering I'm technically handicapped. Both my hands, I lost kind of full use of those about going on 10 years now.
Looks really good, actually.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
It is what it is. Thanks. Yeah, it sucks because like I wanted to be the one to draw all of this stuff, and I probably could have. But the hand thing got in the way, so now I'm stuck like hiring people, and I'm kind of glad in some regards because some of the artists that I have been able to meet up with are some amazingly talented people. And it's been a gift working with them, and I can't wait to show what we've got in book 2. And I'm hoping, and I'm gonna say it, and I know I'm probably gonna kick myself for saying this later, but I'm working with an artist that I'm friends with, but I'm also a big fan of, and she and I are trying to get out a preview of book 3 if I get a stretch goal for the book 2 campaign, so you could get like the first chapter of book 3. And her art is freaking amazing. She's the one that did where is it? I think I can, she's the one that did this card right here. And I colored it. She sent me the black and white, and I threw on the color, but it's kind of a warped color because of the hollow foil effect. But Nerium Nova is freaking awesome, and nice. I can't wait to I can't wait to
I can't wait to see it.
Hell yeah. But yeah, that's Infinitale. So
all right.
Super cool stuff, man. Thank you.
Yep. Glad we'd show that off. So the two halves of the melee. I just have 2 questions for you. Who is your daddy and what does he do?
I can't talk about that. I'm legally unable to talk about my dad and where he is or anything because the government will come and raid my home.
It's okay to say he's out for cigarettes. It's okay, bro.
The milk's expired. He's been gone for 30 years. Help.
Damn. Well, James, I'm blinking torture right now.
Oh, it's shilling. Oh, that wasn't a... Okay.
James, they always hear me shill on this channel, so they can get your perspective on what we do.
Okay, I didn't
know. We want the masculine perspective of...
They always hear what I have to say on this channel.
If you hate women, come subscribe to Melee Games. All right, well... Welcome, everybody.
Melee, why do you hate yourself?
You know what? I think
if you knew the gender,
you
hour
understand.
2.
You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
We're going on hour 3 now, but yeah.
That's true. All right, I'll make this nice and quick. Hey, everybody, we're Melee Games. Together, we talk about all things gaming and bring back the glory of gaming. You can find us over on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Rumble, and Twitter, just at Melee Games or Melee Games Plays. What do we got coming up next? Well, Sunday is going to be our flagship show, Steam Roulette. You never know what's going to happen on Steam Roulette. Absolute madness and chaos, so do not miss that. Our Sunday show is always the wildest. But our next big one is going to be also Tuesday, February 4th in the evening, probably around 7 p.m. PST. We're going to be, by popular demand, checking out maybe the best visual novel of all time, and that game is Class of 09. Don't look it up. Don't look into the game. Just come on down to the Melee Games channel and watch us play it. You will not be disappointed.
James, is this true?
James, say, yes, I do. Yeah, that's very true. 100% true.
Oh.
You think I'll say no to that? You kidding me? I'm a whore.
I mean, as long as the check clears, I guess.
Yeah, it has every time. Thank you all so much to our audience, our lovely people that support us and let us do what we love to do. And what I love to do is dance shirtless to a song about gay men being bears for all of you. Thank you. You guys are the best.
It's not an exaggeration.
I am not lying.
If I pay $100, can I make Melee K hold up a sign that says I like bananas?
Well, for $100, what happens on our channel is I play 10 minutes of a game that I hate, essentially, has kind of been the thing. Now, we've expanded it to people being able to, like, decide what the game is, but it's meant to make me suffer, essentially. So it's not meant to be like, you like this game. So right now...
I'm going to create a mod that replaces all the enemies in Doom with Carrie Ellis. And I'm going to pay you $100 to play the Carrie Ellis.
Do it! Lord, no!
Do it!
The latest thing that so usually it's this like it's this shovelware game called Warcraft that they get me to play because I really hate it. But lately it's expanded, and the one that's happening next month is me doing 10 minutes of Kingdom Hearts because I cannot stand Kingdom Hearts.
Thank you, Snap.
Thank you, Snapple. Yeah.
Bear Force 1.
Yeah, that's the $50 James dance is called Bear Force 1.
Oh my God, we're special people.
I need to create Carrie Ellis simulator and make Melee play it.
Do it, please.
Please.
It has to happen.
And it is yeah, like and half of them are just going to be Pistol Pete.
Please don't do this to me.
We need him. We need the version of him from Saw. We need the Francis Ford Coppola Dracula version.
Or what if I created a mod for Sonic Adventure 2 that replaces Knuckles' model with Pistol Pete?
Please don't do that.
Do it.
Oh man,
we will honor it. Upset at this idea.
She is so miserable right now because she already has to play Kingdom Hearts, and now you're just really crushing her soul. I love to see it. She deserves it.
Or what if I find a game with an archer, and it's just, I replace it with Round Hood Men in Tights, and it's just quotes from the movie. Get ready for the fight scene!
That is perfect for her. Please do.
No, I make a mod for Skyrim. Then it's Carrie Ellis, and it's just his lines.
Ooh, that probably exists.
Oh no. Oh no.
Why are you aiming to make me suffer?
It's what the people want, Kay. They want you to suffer.
I know. Everyone finds it funny.
People
like it when I yell for some reason.
Yeah, I got to make you play Marvel Rivals Soccer again so you can
experience
Chinese soccer.
Okay, maps. Oh my God, the maps.
Map fan.
We played Diablo 3, the Diablo 1 event in Diablo 3, and we were in this like dark room, and I refused to use the like mini map, and I was just wandering around having fun, and yeah, it's because I don't like to look at maps if I don't need to. That's the lore of the maps.
Yeah, she kept. We wanted to beat the Darkening of Tristram in one run, and she refused to look at the map, so we kept walking back to the entrance, and it was just hours. And
hello, my friend.
She eventually just was like, "I hate maps." Secretly, she loves them.
I'm a Wind Waker fan. It's so hypocritical for me not to like follow maps at all.
You hate maps and water levels, but you love Wind Waker.
I know.
What the fuck?
I know.
Contradiction.
Yeah, a little bit. Ben Shapiro's gonna fucking fact check you in a minute here.
Oh God!
I bet Shapiro.
So apparently, Carrie Ellis is in Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I think that's going to be a movie we're going to have to watch for a Friday night feature.
Yeah,
that was a good movie, though.
You got to work through every single Carrie Elves
movie.
So
James, you don't realize the lore of this channel is the reason I keep bringing up Carrie Elwes is I cursed Melee with Carrie Elwes.
I was there. I watched it with her.
He watches everything with me every time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always there, lurking in the shadows. So
you're her emotional support.
More like emotional damage.
Emotion. Okay, Chris, do it.
Do what?
Do it.
Yeah.
No emotional damage.
Oh, emotional damage.
Oh, there you go. Oh my God! Now
I was about to do it, but then I realized, wait, I have an actual Asian here. Let's just let him.
Yeah. You make the one Korean dude. Like
Chris is our rooftop Korean. We love him.
Yeah, literally rooftop. Okay. So rooftop Korean is literally Chris's favorite gender.
Oh, good.
That's my Pokemon.
They're great. They've got a great radius, so they can just take out anybody. Absolutely.
Yes, they have +1 to headshots.
Yeah.
No, my aim is off though because I'm a mutt. So I'm also Jewish, so like I complain a lot and like.
Oh, you're like Corona. Now it all makes sense.
But
you shouldn't say Elliot Roger.
But because of your Jewishness, if somebody is holding a sack of money, your aim goes up like 100 points.
Ooh. That's right.
What?
We're canceled. We're canceled now.
Well, you bring us on, it's gonna be a shit show. And I love it.
That's right. We can convince you about everything.
Why are we here? Just to suffer?
Every single time.
So, James, I have one more question for you.
Do
you think love can bloom on the battlefield?
No, never. What are you referencing? But no, it's impossible.
Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, no.
But all right, everybody. We're gonna hop off here. It was a wild time. Melee James, please don't be a stranger out here. Melee K, please be a stranger. Chris, I love you. Nix, I love you. But Kay, can you do the emo hair flip?
No, I can't.
That was
I have headphones on.
Yeah, you're gonna whip your headphones off. You don't want that.
I whip my hair on them. With my hair.
Only because my bangs are so long. Oh my God. I'm actually going to be getting a haircut in the next few days, so all this is going to get chopped off. But all right, next tomorrow we're doing Breath of the Wild. We're going to be finishing that off. On Sunday we are doing our video game show. We're talking about Jack Thompson and Edith Sarkeesian. It's going to be really great. Melee K, Melee James, if you want to stop by, you're welcome to.
Thanks,
and then let's see here. Tuesday, we're starting a new game. We're doing a modded Final Fantasy VII. I got all the pretty graphics mods on there. It's gonna be pretty sweet. And then this Friday, a week from now, we are doing a special 20th anniversary episode for Power Rangers SPD because on Wednesday it is actually the 20th anniversary. Also, SPD is set in 2025, so this is the year SPD takes place. So that'll be pretty awesome.
Which Power Ranger got an STD?
Trini. Again.
No. Trini got an accidental injection of iron and gasoline.
Oh,
wait a minute. You're saying the Asian stereotype of being a terrible driver?
She's literally the stereotype.
I don't think she was driving. I'm not sure if she was driving or not, but she did die in a car accident. So.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Fun fact: Tree Tang and I share a birthday. Not on the same year, but the same day.
Do you pour one out for her? And do you drunk drive for her? One for my homie.
Crossroads.
And as you're driving, you're just like, Saber-tooth tiger!
No, I go Triceratops.
That's what he says when he collides with a pedestrian.
I say Triceratops, you heathen. All right, we're gonna go because I have reached my limit with these people.
Went on a rampage. I just heard Saber-tooth tiger shouting out the driver.
All right, James, fuck you, but I hope you come back.
Okay.
Anyways, thank you everyone for joining us. I now have rectal cancer, but remember, I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it.
Oh.